All right, we are back with report card pickup for the fights that happened on July 9th, 2021. Um, I didn't get a chance to see it right off because I was out celebrating my birthday. So what say you? Because the card was like 4 or 5 fights, or was it more than that?
Yeah, it was like it was 5 fights. There was a bunch of like other prelims, and then you had the main card had 5 fights. It had the what's the female boxer really cool,
Tanisha Estrada.
Sinisa
Yeah.
Estrada. She's really good. She's pretty too, but
Mm-hmm.
she's really good. She's a very gifted and talented and athletic boxer. I mean, she has a certain kind of weird kind of style. She's a switch hitter. Um, she actually fights more like Boots Ennis. People compare to Crawford. She fights more like Boots Ennis than Crawford, in my opinion.
Okay.
But she switches that fluidly, just like that. And she captured a championship in the second weight division. I think she did it 10. I think it was 108 was this one, and she won one at 105. So she's trying to unify, but the girls don't want to give up the belts. Chick she beat at 105 for the belt that she has now. And if she went up and got 108, she's going to go back down and fight this other chick in a rematch who grabbed another belt from another girl. So she's just trying to collect belts. She put on a really good display. It was a unanimous decision. That was a really good fight. Once again, our favorite friends over at the Garcias had a fighter. I think it was William Zepeda was not their fighter. He was a young man. Man, let me tell you something. He's a problem in 135. He's a problem, and he beat the Garcias had a fighter. I can't think of his names, Zatara or something like that, who's a pay to beat. He's a junior. He has a pedigree. If you look up pull up the card real quick, you'll see. But he was talking a bunch of noise, like, oh, he's only had all his fights in Mexico. He's not at my level. And boy, he opened up a can of whip ass on Robert Garcia's fighter so tough that Garcia stopped the fight.
Wow, it was that vicious.
Yeah, he was. I mean, you want to talk about throwing 65, 75 punches around, body snatching. He was a southpaw, phenomenal hand speed. He was throwing combinations like Pacquiao, and he was just walking through the taller, longer
Tanahara.
fighter. Tanahata, yeah, Tanahata has a certain pedigree. He's being, his career has been kind of guided along and moved around by the Garcias. And once again, they have another fighter in their stable, who I guess is less than basic. So he
Less than
he got his
basic.
ass whooped, less than basic. That's what we're gonna start labeling all the Garcia fighters is less than basic.
That's crazy.
Because if you lose and if you gotta stop the fight, then to me you're less than basic. So their less than basic fighter Tanahata had to retire on the stool, and they called the fight off. They stopped the
What
fight.
round was that? What round was that?
It was probably like round 8, something like that. Round 7, round 8,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
He was being pummeled. He was being pummeled. He was being tagged to the body. He was just being outquicked, outworked, outpunched. He was losing in every single category.
And this is 135, 130?
This is at 135. Yeah.
Okay.
His name is William Zepeda. Obviously, he signed. I don't think he signed or who he signed to, because I'm pretty sure Tanahata is a golden boy. But the interesting thing is that, man, this Zepeda's going to be a problem, man. He passes the eye test. He's for a guy who's a body snatcher, who's very aggressive. He's really he has a slick defense too. He's not a guy who goes in there and aggressive and gets hit a lot. So he's an interesting type of fighter. He's got a slickness of a Fortuna, but he lets his hands go a lot more, and he's more powerful than Fortuna.
Okay.
But there's some similarities there. If you rewatch the whole card, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay. Yeah, because when I came home when I watched it this morning, I only paid attention to the JoJo Diaz and Sullivan Barrera versus Ramirez.
Give her to Zurdo. Yeah. So that was a good fight. I gave Zepeda. I want to give him his props for the work he put in. I'm
going to go back and check it out then.
For a young man who came from Mexico, who came from nothing. who comes from an area where a lot of fighters come from, but you really gotta, you gotta grab it out the mud. Even though he's not a big name, I'm gonna call him out and give him his props. Big ups to William Zepeda for beating the guy who looked down at him and talked down to him and putting in that work and looked very, very impressive doing it from the opening bell to when they stopped the fight. So William Zepeda, that's his name. Keep his just
I'm gonna have to start paying attention to him. Then.
Trust me, you will see him. He will be a guy that they will throw out there. He's a guy when you hear the Ryan Garcias, when you hear, I know they talking about Jojo Diaz because he's a name, but watch this Zepeda kid. He's gonna beat one of those main guys. I'm telling you right now, he's gonna beat one of them at least.
Okay. It says William Zepeda breaks down, stops Hector Tanahata in 6 rounds.
Oh, 6 rounds. So he did even sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was vicious, bro. He was vicious.
Yeah, he looked like a tough
letting your hands go. He is the definition of letting your hands go.
Oh, wow. 23-0 with 21 knockouts.
Yeah.
Tanahata, also, he was going to run over him anyway. And I'm not being disrespectful to Tanahata, but based on your record at 19-1 with 5 KOs, this kid was bound to just kind of like run you over at some point.
Tanahata was supposed to be, he sparred with Virgil Ortiz Jr. He's in the Garcia's gym and he has pedigree and he has amateur pedigree and he's a tall fighter. He's a boxer. So number one, he not only get outfought, but he got outboxed too. It wasn't just brute force. He was outboxed.
No, that's what it's saying. I'm looking at the article on Boxing Scene. It says there's Zepeda outboxed, out-muscled, and out-hustled Tanahata. That's what it's saying.
Yep. Yeah, he did. All of the outclass, all of the above.
Wow.
And it wasn't even close.
It says Zepeda landed 188 punches in the fight, with 181 of them being of the power punch variety. Tanahata landed just a total of 78 punches per CompuBox, as he couldn't use his 3.5-inch reach advantage to fend off Zepeda.
No. Yeah, Zepeda took the jab away. He slipped, and every time he slipped the jab, he let his hands go and made Tanahata pay. Every time Tanahata missed, he let his hands go. It was like, no, you're gonna feel me. I'm not just gonna slip you and that's it. Like if I slip you or if I make you miss, I'm letting my hands go. I'm touching you somewhere.
I'm just reading on some of it. No. So wait. Who is Zepeda's trainer? Because
I don't know. Not a big name. He's literally a flash out the pan.
Okay.
He's from Mexico. This is like either his first or second fight in the States. Tanahata and Garcia, they kind of boo-hooed him and poo-pooed him and said, all his fights are in Mexico. So, who knows? Look, I don't care where you fighting. If you're, I can see if you 24-0 with 10 knockouts or 12 knockouts, I might, but if you 23-0 with 21,
that says a lot.
Knockouts, that means you're doing something and you carry power. That means you're ending fights. Yeah. That's what it means.
And they should know it better because as them being Mexican or Mexican America, they know that Mexico puts out some really raw, vicious talent when it comes to boxing. They know that.
Well, bro, here's the thing. I'm going to go there. I'm going to go there with the community. You got Mexicans and then you got Mexican Americans.
You know what? And we gonna have to go there real quick because to be honest, I remember being in Mexico and watching some matches. They root for everybody that's there. They love their people, but they root for their fucking own. It's when you cross like Mexican Americans who think they're above every fucking body.
Exactly. See, that's the fault line with their fan base. That's the fault line with how they are. And so it's all Mexico when it's a black fighter or another fighter, but like it's human nature, man. It's almost like when you're in the black community, it's all good when it's all black, but then you got light skin, dark skin. And so for them, it's Mexican American. It's more of a nationalism type issue that's there. So it's interesting. But this getting back to boxing, this Zepeda dude impressed me. I was highly impressed.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
have to go
probably have
back
him.
and check it out because
Yeah.
it says he walked this guy, like he stayed in front of this guy, man.
For a new guy to relatively come out of oblivion, that's the most impressed I've probably been in about 5 years.
Mm, that says a lot, man. I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna have to go and check out and see if I can dig him up, dig up his last 5 or 6 fights then, and just sit
yeah.
there and
He
pay
was
attention to
impressive.
him. Yeah, it's good to
And then,
see that though. Salute to his trainer too, whoever that is, because they got the
oh
kid putting
yeah,
in work. And he
yeah,
looked battle tested and hardened. So he looked
yeah.
like he done
And
seen some shit.
he had some good corner work. They were very they had a relationship. You can tell they were kind of aggressive with how they were talking to him. But I think they had a relationship where they were pushing the right buttons. And they were telling him, hey, like, walk through this guy. Walk, we
Mm,
see it. We see it from our corner. We see, he's only trying to get you with the jab. He ain't letting the right hand go. He doesn't understand how to really fight a southpaw because he's not letting that straight right go. He can't keep you off of him. Just walk right through him. And then they would just tell him just throw vicious combos to the body. And he listened to his corner. He did.
oof.
He started down low and finished up top. That's how he did it.
And a southpaw.
And a southpaw.
That's
And with power
crazy.
and power in both hands.
That's
Both hands, not just
crazy.
left-handed. He's a two-handed fighter. So that was a thing that really impressed me for a guy that's young, that hasn't had a lot of exposure in fighting in other markets and fighting a lot of other different types of fighters. To come in there, even though it was in LA and all, I mean, it was in California and all of that, but to come out of nowhere and just put on that type of performance, man,
Yeah.
was good. And Sinisa Estrada looked great. She beat, I think it was I don't know if she was Japanese, but her name was Tsunami
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
She beat her. It
Tanaki
was nip and
Tsunami or
tuck.
something like that.
Yeah, it was a nip and tuck for about 6 rounds. I had Estrada winning pretty much all the rounds except maybe one, and then she just poured it on her with combinations and speed and her footwork and her hand speed and her fluidity and switching between orthodox and southpaw and landing the cleaner shots from awkward angles. She's a problem in women's boxing. I think she's somebody who's going to be right there with Amanda Serrano. Serrano has more power. Obviously, you're always going to talk about Clarissa Shields, and you got Katie Taylor. Though it's going to be those four that'll be talked about in terms of pound for pound in women's.
Apologies, her
And
name is not Tanaki, it's Tenkai Tsunami. That's her name.
Tenkai, yeah. So I mean, she was rough and rugged. She took some shots, and went all the way to the end. And
Okay.
Sinisa got the unanimous decision.
Yeah, she come to fight though. Sanisa does come to
She
come to fight.
East LA all day, every day. I can tell that she's been on the streets in some scraps, and she's been boxing. I think since she was 8 years old. She was in the gym with the guys. So
Yeah, they're gonna end up calling her
she
the
fights like a
Golden
dude.
Girl. They're gonna end up calling
Uh-huh.
her the Golden Girl. Watch.
Well, I
Just
love her
watch.
nickname. Her nickname is Super Bad because that's where the movie was filmed back when she was a kid. So that's her nickname, Sinisa Super Bad Estrada.
Okay.
She's super bad.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna end up calling her Golden Girl soon. If she
Yeah,
keep
maybe
on.
so. She's a rough customer, and the chick she beat before that she took her title, and then the other chick who lost got another title. She was ringside. Bless you.
Excuse me.
And
Thank
then,
you.
no doubt. And then she was just like, we can go out in the parking lot right now. I can go another 10, 12 rounds. I get that ass right now. Like she was, but she did it with a smile and looking pretty, but very serious.
But she mean that shit. She ain't playing
Oh
around,
yeah, she
man.
mean it. She
She
wanted to
ain't playing
scrap.
around.
The other chick didn't look like she,
Hey,
wanted to smoke.
have you noticed with Southpaws lately that the tide is changing with them? That they're not as uh on their back foot like they used to be. They're not boxers anymore like they used to be. Like over the last 5 to 7 years, have you noticed a change that more southpaws are becoming more of power punches and conventional fighters where they come forward and they hunt you down? Have you noticed that?
I've noticed that, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why. So I'm ambidextrous. I know you don't know that, but I'm left leg. My strong leg is my left leg.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what's happening is, normally it was always opposite. It was weird. You had a lot of people who were right-handed, but they were right leg, or they were left-handed, but they were right leg. Oddly enough, a lot of southpaws that I'm finding, especially the power punches, they are not only is their strong arm, and sometimes their strong arm can be their right hand, but they still fight southpaw. But they fight southpaw because the power comes from down from your legs. And so a lot of them are having that strong leg to the back. So to me, more so than just southpaws, up here, you're having a lot of southpaws when it comes to the legs. Their strong leg is the left leg.
Okay. I was just noticing
I think
that, like,
that's when they're
man,
generating the
Adonis
power.
Stevenson, it has a lightning left hand. You know what I mean?
Yep. Manny Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao is crispy with his left hand. Boots Ennis, he can just switch. He's ambidextrous because I'm ambidextrous. Terrence Crawford is ambidextrous. He doesn't really. I don't think he knocks guys out with the left hand. It usually comes from combinations in tight. Well, you know, he tore Ndongo off with a crispy left to the body.
He clips guys. His thing is not really just direct power. It's more so he clips guys with shots they don't expect. He catches guys by surprise. I know you think he gets in trouble, he switches southpaw, and maybe he gets in trouble, but I also think part of that is Bud seems to figure out how he can get a big punch on a guy that he's not expecting. And it always comes from the southpaw position. It never comes from orthodox. I don't know what it is that he's calculating. Maybe he's looking at their footwork. He's looking at the head placement. He's looking at their focus. And somehow, you know, he'll be in a little bit of trouble as orthodox and he'll switch. And you're like, okay, switch. Because he's that. But I think he switches when he sees something and he's like, oh, okay. You know,
I think he
get
switches.
That right hook or,
I think he switches for another reason, but I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
I think we talked about it before while we was hanging out one time. I'm not gonna speak on that.
We're not gonna talk about it.
Yeah. But then you also have Errol Spence and you have Tank Davis that are southpaws. You have Jose Cepeda, that's a southpaw. You have Josh Taylor, that's a southpaw, and these guys put punches together as well. But they're
Ramirez.
Big Zerto, big lefty. That motherfucker is a southpaw, and I saw what he did. But man, so you have so many now, and they're going forward. They're not going back. They don't do what the conventional type of southpaw does. Like when you look at a Rigondeaux, like Rigo El Chacal, one of my favorite fighters. He's southpaw and he uses mastercraft, defense to offense, offense to defense. And he times you, he puts you in a certain place when he throws his punches, but he doesn't go for it a lot of times to go and get guys.
He's a pure counter puncher.
Yeah, man. He's a measure counter. Yeah. So next on the card would be coming to the latter part, right? That would be towards the end. Yeah.
So Zepeda gets an A. Sinisa gets a B plus.
She gets a B. Okay.
She gets a B plus. And then who
I gotta check out this Zepeda, man. Now I'm excited. I gotta check this kid out.
Yeah. So Zepeda, I mean, I probably should give him an A plus. I'm gonna give him an A plus. So Zepeda A plus. Sinisa Estrada B plus. I'm trying to think, what was it? I think there was 3 other fights. There was obviously, I know Jojo Diaz, but I felt like there was one more fight I'm missing that was on that. I think it was 5 that was in that main card. If you could pull it up, I'm not really sure. So we got Zepeda, we got Estrada. Jojo Diaz gets a B plus.
Was Lamont Roach on that card?
He may have been, but he wasn't on the main card.
Okay, maybe not, because I see an ESPN sign in the back, so maybe that wasn't him.
Yeah, and Zerto gets an A. So those are my grades, man.
Okay, so what did you think of the Jojo Diaz?
I thought it was a good fight. I think Jojo looks strong at the weight. He definitely is. He has one huge disadvantage at 135 is he got very short arms. That's 64 inches.
Okay.
But he's very good at slipping punches. He's at this weight class, he's definitely going to be a body snatcher. He's got to have to get inside and hit to the body and work his way up the tree. He looks solid. He could take a good punch. He took a couple good punches from Fortuna. Can he beat the elite guys? I don't think he could beat Teofimo Lopez. I don't think he could beat Devin Haney. It's a 50-50 fight with Ryan Garcia. Not that Garcia, I think he's a better boxer than Garcia, but Garcia has power. He's much bigger. He has a lot of physical advantages. So it's just a matter of, and he's fast. So it's just a matter of, can Garcia catch him, right? But if Garcia cannot catch him, then he'll destroy Garcia. He'll just hit him to the body. And I don't believe in Ryan's punch resiliency. I don't like the way he reacted to Luke Campbell's punch. And I just think there's a major weakness there, which is why he got the anxiety. And I think JoJo will give him some problems, especially being a southpaw. And JoJo does a very good job of staying compact, being small, and keeping his hand up. Because Garcia's best punch by far is his left hook. You know, it's the lead left hook upstairs, the lead left hook to the body that he finished Luke Campbell with, and then also his check hook. I'm not really impressed with Ryan's straight right hand. And fighting a southpaw, you need a straight right hand.
Absolutely.
So I just think that's a 50-50 fight. I can see JoJo beating him if they fight now.
You would think this is something that they would go back and sit down with him and try to work on, especially, you know, Oscar being a guy who was a southpaw, a natural lefty, and fought in the orthodox position.
Yeah.
You know, you would think that would be something that they would, hey kid, you need to work on your right hand. You know what I mean?
I think they do. I just think Ryan Garcia is Ryan Garcia. When you got 18 million Instagram followers, and you know, I mean, what he's 22, already got like 2-3 kids. He's lived a lot of life. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Some people are just hard. You can't tell them shit.
He just
comes across to me like one of those guys. Like I think Canelo can tell him. And I think Canelo has told him. I just think Ryan Garcia, I just question his commitment.
Like I told you, a diva, man. He's a diva, bro. That boy don't care. He don't care about the skill and craft of boxing. Like that.
Yeah.
Not on the level.
But that's the fight they're gonna make, though. But that's the fight they're gonna make.
The JoJo
They're
Diaz.
gonna make Ryan Garcia, JoJo Diaz. They're gonna serve JoJo Diaz up as food. So they're gonna be very calculated about the names and matchups they feed Ryan Garcia. JoJo's tough, but I think they will train Ryan Garcia to withstand JoJo Diaz. I think that's something that doesn't. JoJo's not that complicated of a fighter with his skill set. That, you know, Ryan has the tools, and I just think under Reynoso and Canelo kind of being over him, I just think they'll figure out a way to get him past JoJo Diaz, and then he'll just do more capping. You know, I beat a gold medalist. I beat JoJo Diaz. I beat two Olympians.
And let me just throw something in there too. You can beat a southpaw with a left hook, but you still need the right hand. You got to have. You still need the
right hand.
You got to have a jab or something.
Yeah, you can't just use the hook. You can't beat a southpaw to me just with the left hand. You need to be able to let that right hand go, and it has to be a threat. Because all that southpaw has to do literally is keep their hands up to stop the left hook. And if you get so predictable, and I think Ryan Garcia is very predictable with his left hook, and even though he's fast, he can easily be timed. He can be, if JoJo gets on the inside and hooks with him, because JoJo has a shorter arms and he's inside of that, he could clip Ryan before Ryan can get to him easily.
Okay.
He can he can shoot a hook to the body, you know, come out and then come over with an overhand left. I just see so many ways that he can get broken down. I think Reynoso and those guys will cover up the holes. That's going to be the fight. That's going to be his fight that he comes back to. It's going to be JoJo Diaz. It's going to be JoJo Diaz. Either they'll give him another bum to kind of really get his feet wet a little bit, come back from anxiety.
They will. They'll give him
then
something.
It'll be JoJo.
Then
it'll be JoJo Diaz after that. JoJo Diaz will duck Devin Haney. And, you know, they'll tell all type of lies and they'll cap. He'll duck Devin Haney until then, because they'll promise him the Ryan Garcia fight. And money-wise, the Ryan Garcia fight is bigger for JoJo Diaz because it's, you know, Mexican-American versus Mexican-American. They can do it out there in LA. Ryan's out there in LA. JoJo Diaz is from out there. So,
I hear that. That's cool. Yeah. But why would you stay out the way of the guy that actually has a belt? And you can make some really good money with that guy too.
Because
that guy I'm talking about is Devin Haney. But, you know,
it's all about who's advising you. And they know they'll lose. Ryan Garcia did not fight Devin Haney because he knows he'll lose. JoJo Diaz is not going to fight Devin Haney because he knows he'll lose. Period. It's that simple. And they're like, why would I go into a situation and knowingly lose when I can go into a situation and I have some confidence I can win? I think JoJo Diaz is way more confident that he could beat Ryan Garcia than he could beat Devin Haney. I think Ryan Garcia is way more confident that he could beat JoJo Diaz than he could beat Devin Haney. It's really that simple.
All right. About the fight, I like the fight. That's the fight I did see. I did
Yeah.
enjoy the fight. I said it was gonna go the 12 rounds, and if by chance, Fortuna was able to put something together, he could get him out of there. JoJo does look big to me at damn near any weight class that he's fought at, and it's just
Very true.
at damn near
It's his
any
body. He
weight
just got
class.
a very
Yeah,
thick body.
he just wide. He's just a wide guy, man, and he hydrates crazy. So
He
um,
does.
the dude, I don't even understand how he was making. I think JoJo fought at 122.
122.
I don't even
He's
know
fought at
how Joe.
122.
Yeah, I don't know how
I
JoJo was
don't know
making
how.
122.
Hell, I don't know how he even made 126. Looking at
Yeah.
him now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like I don't
Yeah.
know how the brother was doing it, man. But whatever it was, he was shrinking, man. I know that had to have been tough on his body. I
Yeah.
know that had to
It
have been
definitely
tough.
had to be. Yeah.
But it was a good fight, man. I feel like um, Fortuna could have done a better job of just boxing, staying on the outside and throwing straight punches to keep JoJo honest. I know he's cool with fighting, and that's fine. Like, be a fighter, show that you got some heart. But if you pay attention real closely to them on the inside, you could see that JoJo was getting in some real tough body shots, man.
Yeah.
He was very slick on the inside when he threw body shots. And I could tell after a while that, man, Fortuna doesn't have that part of the game where he can throw body shots on the inside to keep this guy honest, and keep him off of him.
JoJo was better at it. And the other thing is a good matchup for JoJo because Fortuna doesn't throw a lot of straight punches. Fortuna wings a lot of his shots. He wings a lot of wide shots, and he's a hooker. The problem is if you're a hooker and you're hooking with a hooker and you let a guy get inside your range, his shorter arms coming down into your body, he's going to land the blows before you are. And Fortuna was just always in awkward situations. He really didn't use his jab the way he should have. He didn't maintain distance. He didn't throw enough straight left hands. He was too busy throwing wide hooks and looping shots. And I just think against a shorter guy, that makes absolutely no sense. You keep your punches straight, you chop them down, you keep the distance. And if you let them on the inside, it's because you want to walk them into something. There were no uppercuts, there was nothing. So there wasn't the variety there with Fortuna that I thought that he might have been able to do. He had a horrible game plan. And I just think he was ill prepared, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I don't see if I don't see. You know what? Based on that, he could get knocked out playing around with Diaz.
Devin Haney would destroy Javier Fortuna.
Javi,
That's
that's
why,
no disrespect, but I think it's a chance. Like with the way that fight, I know it's just that fight, but judging by that fight, he could get knocked out playing with Devin
and judging
Haney.
by the type of punches he throws, and some of the stuff he was hitting JoJo with, he's just not going to hit Dev with. And Dev is way quicker than JoJo Diaz, and I just like way quicker. I just think I think Dev would fuck around and stop Fortuna. I think he'd just stop him. I think he would hit him with so many shots. He may not put him on his ass and he get counted out, but they may just stop the fight just from taking too many blows.
I think it's a chance because Dev, like you said, he's fast. I think one of those combos where he wop wop wop, you know what I mean, and moves around, and if he can knock that head around pretty well, I think he may be able to catch him. But salute to Javier Fortuna and JoJo Diaz. What did you say you gave that fight?
I gave JoJo a B plus.
I gave it I think I was thinking of a B. I think I was thinking of a B. He did well enough to win. He was pouring it on, but Fortuna was just willing to stand there and stay in there. He's a hardened guy, you know what I mean? You can tell that dude's been in the streets. So salute to them on that fight. And then the big guy, big lefty, Gilberto Ramirez and Sullivan Barrera. My goodness, man. So of course an A on that, on the performance of Zurdo Ramirez. That's a tough guy. That's A
plus.
That's a tough guy, man.
That right uppercut, that lead right uppercut is one of the nastiest punches. And that's a dangerous punch.
And he's not scared to do it.
And he's not scared to do it. And he did. Did you see it before he stopped selling Barrera? He did it again. And then Barrera caught him clean with a good right hand. And he looked at it and laughed it off, okay, that's what you got.
That's it.
And then went finished him. So he showed me he could take a punch because Barrera does pack a good punch in that right hand. And just the variety, just the angles, the variety, the activity. I think he's more dangerous because it looks like he's carrying even more power. He was always a volume puncher and pointed on guys, but I'm starting to see some more actual one punch or 2-3 punch combination knockout power out of him. He's very dangerous. He definitely beats Bivol.
Oh yeah,
in my opinion.
Look.
But that's right.
Bivol is an educated fighter. He's a master craftsman to me too. But I don't think he's going to be able to keep that guy off of him. That guy's not going to stop coming forward. Zurdo can box, but he can bang too. Man, the way he was throwing that left to the body, man.
Yeah.
The way he was throwing left to the body.
And I think Zurdo beats Beterbiev.
I think that's just going to be a really good fight. And I'll salute whoever walks out of there.
It's a good fight because, we know Beterbiev can give it. I want to see how much he can take it because Zurdo is weird with Zurdo because Zurdo is a very, very long. He's tall. He looks taller than he's like almost 6'3".
But he looks
even bigger than that. He looks like he's 6'5", right? That's what he looks like. But he measured out at like 6'2 3/4. But he's got those super long arms. And he's so dangerous because he can fight on the inside. And I think that's what he would really, really really give Beterbiev problems. That lead right uppercut, because Beterbiev is always on her front foot hunting. And I completely see Zurdo giving him a jab, keeping a distance. And then when Beterbiev feels comfortable, think he's okay, I'm gonna hunt him down, I'm gonna go to the body. I completely see Zurdo lighting his ass up with that lead right uppercut and Beterbiev just walking right into it.
Yeah.
I would have him beating Beterbiev.
I think it's gonna be a very good scrap. I think when that time comes, it's gonna be a really good scrap. I can also see Zurdo throwing that left uppercut, stepping in too.
I can see that too.
The kid, that brother, man. Zurdo, man, you was a bad motherfucker, man. I give credit where credit is due, and he's one of them guys, man. Him and Benavidez, David, DB, like those are some bad motherfuckers, man. I get them. Those
some bad dudes.
Yeah,
and Zurdo has a chance, just like David. They both have an opportunity to be top 5 pound for pound in the next 2 years.
Yeah, definitely.
Just because now that he's with a major outfit, they got money. And he's going to have a platform, right? I just think, and he's where the belts are on DAZN. Bivol and Beterbiev are both on DAZN. Mm-hmm. So, and Joe Smith, I believe, is ESPN. Correct. But for the right price, they'll do business. He's a problem, man. I see him, and he beats Canelo.
And if you're at the top, there's nowhere to go. Like you're gonna have to run into this guy.
Zurdo beats Canelo. The only guy who has a chance to beat Zurdo is David Benavidez.
And they will see each other. They will see each other down the road.
At 175, probably about 2-3 years from now.
Yep.
And it will be an absolute fucking war.
Yeah, they gonna bang.
But not like a sloppy.
No. They gonna fight. They gonna fight. It's gonna be an educated
high stakes
fight.
Chess.
Yeah.
But a war.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fight.
And it's gonna start from round 1. It's gonna start right from the opening bell.
Oh yeah, because David going right to him.
Yeah, and they know each other.
Go right to too. What you call that?
Right to the middle
unstoppable force, immovable object. That's gonna be them two guys. They're gonna go right to each other. They ain't going nowhere. Nowhere.
So that's gonna be a phenomenal fight. So yeah, man, we'll see what happens. But yeah, Zurdo is a problem. And I think he's going to get a shot his next fight. I mean, he's beat Jesse Hart twice. I mean, there's nobody else at 175. I mean, they may feed him, they may feed him Callum Smith because Callum Smith's talking about, I heard DAZN mention him. They're trying to figure out the way to get Eddie Hearn's guys another check. I get all that. Maybe Callum Smith, he destroys Callum Smith. I say that fight ends in 6 rounds.
Real quick, let me say this real quick. Yeah. Trilla wants to move Lopez Cambosos to Australia in October. Teofimo is not on board. That is news.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's too late. Well, they want to move because you get a better live gate. That fight's not going to sell in the US, number one.
No.
So
and
you want
they
to go to
already had to
Australia.
postpone it. They already lost money fucking around with this fight.
Well, then now he throws off the schedule with Loma. It throws off it like that time horizon is too long, and it leaves Teofimo on the outside looking in. And he also runs the risk of being stripped of at least one of the titles for taking that long. So, I think he made a big mistake taking that fight, number one, but we know why he took it, because he went to duck Devin Haney. So, yeah, I mean, to think the time you knew it was a pandemic, it was the absolute idiotic to think you're going to go to another country and do a fight and have a live gate during a damn pandemic. So, that was all cap.
And I just don't think Triller did their due diligence as far as knowing fighters and knowing boxing, knowing the boxing community, how to set up a fight. And
they got duped. They got duped too. They got duped by the mouth of Teofimo Senior and Junior, because there's a lot of mouth with them. They say a lot of shit that is easily disproven, that does not age well, but now I see why they do business with Bob. Bob says a lot of things that don't age well. Teofimo went to Triller and he's like, "You're completely irresponsible. If you're not vaccinated, how could you possibly get COVID?" Now Tyson Fury has COVID.
Now Tyson has COVID.
Now Tyson has COVID.
It's some bad business going on over there. Man.
What is Bob Barrera saying? It's horrible business going over there. And the media, they don't talk about it. Again, and this is what they look, again, this is why I call them their special interest groups. It's horrible, man, because we all see it.
Yeah.
But they still, and it's not.
I don't think they give a fuck though. They don't give a fuck.
I know they don't. But the thing is, once they step out of Little Mexico, ain't nobody going for that shit. Like, they can have Little UK and Little Mexico, but when they step off into the greater United States of America, don't nobody think they shit. They really don't. Nobody thinks Joe Tessitore is shit. Chris Mannix ain't shit. They all ain't shit.
Nobody,
and everybody knows it.
And then y'all opinions of boxing be so fucking bogus and far-fetched. The shit
where they're liars. They're not even opinions.
Yeah, just lying, just bullshit.
You can have an opinion. You can say, "I think Teofimo beats Devin Haney." That's an opinion. But Devin Haney's ducking Teofimo. See, that's a lie. See, it's not. I don't have a problem with the opinion. You can have an opinion, but it's when you lie that's when I have a problem. And so they're all liars, and it's easily disproven. I wish Bill Haney would go in there and just G-check them and just look, man, I don't know what problem you have with the truth, and I don't know what problem you have with Black people, because your lies always seem to err on the side of being about Black people. And I would literally say that to them.
They just follow the tradition of Jim Lampley and Larry Merchant and that category, that era of fuckery.
Yeah, and where are they? HBO's dead, and Jim Lampley signed with who? Triller. Wow, Triller can't even put a damn Teofimo Lopez fight together. Their big card is Oscar De La Hoya and Vitor Belfort. So there you go. So I mean that's not much credibility. That's all trash. So it's nonsense, man. Nobody give a damn about them, man. They're horrible. They're horrible for the sport. And when you're listening to guys like that, to anybody that is listening, pay attention to me. I know I've already said this. When I'm watching boxing, I'm paying attention to the actual fight. The guys who are commentating, I give two shits about them the majority of the time, because they don't know what the fuck they talking about, and it's very opinionated. They have an agenda.
They have an agenda. They're not telling you the realest things about boxing. To say that Devin Haney ducks fighters, he calls out everybody. He didn't call out Gary Russell for talking. He didn't call out Javier Fortuna, who they said he didn't call out. He called out
Javier Diaz. Fortuna declined 3 fights. Let me tell you, it's a piece of sound. Who was that? Was that Fred from Barbershop Conversations? Or no, Ego. It was either Ego or Dante's Boxing Nation. I think I sent you the clip. It's Dante's Boxing Nation.
It was Dante's Boxing.
And it was literally Bill Haney was on the phone with Samson, because Javier Fortuna is a Samson fighter. And Bill Haney right there says, "Oh, you ain't want to smoke with my son. You said Javier wasn't ready." And Samson says, "Yeah, you got me.
Yeah, this is one of the times where you got me.
You got me. I can't deny."
But I think later on in that same interview, because I remember that, I think later on in that same interview, remember, because I told you, he said he was going to go on vacation for 2 weeks and come back and then they'll talk business. Fight never happened.
Yeah. And so you hear that, but then you don't hear Chris Mannix or Todd Grisham say, well, what about Ryan Garcia after he got put on his ass and he eventually stopped Luke Campbell when he said, I want to fight Gervonta Davis? Where'd that go? No, I'm the mandatory. Suleiman, well, you know, we're gonna do something really dumb as shit. We're gonna give Devin Haney 2 mandatories. Oh, so who were his 2 mandatories? Oh, his 2 mandatories was Javier Fortuna and Ryan Garcia. That's why Ryan Garcia was supposed to fight for Javier Fortuna, but he ducked after he ducked Devin Haney. After he ducked Tank Davis first, then after he ducked Devin Haney, then he ducked Javier Fortuna. So let's see who he ducks next. Now it's going to be JoJo Diaz, so he can cap more. Again, here is JoJo Diaz is the interim, you know, WBC title holder, which means you're next to fight who? Devin Haney. How do you not want to fight for the main belt if you already lined up? You're paying sanctioners fees. You lined up for that fight, but you don't want to take it.
Man, Dev, so, keep your foot on these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Next. Don't.
And that's why he didn't re-sign with DAZN too. I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons why he didn't re-sign with DAZN. It wasn't just that he wanted to be a free agent and make the big fights, but I think they went to them and said, look, your broadcasters are all full of shit and they're racist, because they are. Chris Mannix is racist.
Yeah.
Todd Grisham is racist. It's racist when you tell blatant lies, and then there's a pattern and a consistency to who you attach your lies to.
And then they have to also be looking at the situation that Demetrius Andrade finds himself, where he been over there 4 or 5 years and can't get the actual fights. You know, I'm sure it's a culmination of things when you're sitting there and you're looking at the DAZN network and how they go about business. I hope. I don't know much because I don't watch them, but I will hope that Ak and Barack, man, they actually would spit the truth and say
they won't
about it.
They don't tell the truth either. They don't tell the truth either. Ak and Barack ain't shit either. They're liars too. And I'll tell them to their face, they're liars. They're liars on a whole. Now they don't lie as badly as Mannix and Grisham do, but you know, they're similar. They're around Sergio Moore, like they're at that level of lying. It's like I'll take a little bit of the truth, but I'm gonna hold the company line. I'm gonna pull Andre Ward.
I'm a company man. I'm saying? Yeah, be a company.
I'm gonna pull Andre Ward. I'm gonna be a company man. Just how he is for Top Rank. And you know what these guys don't understand is, and they're not thinking about it now because they're short-sighted. You know, with the internet, with YouTube, all this shit lives. And so these former boxers who are doing this, people have common sense. 10 years from now, people are going to see clips about, well, what did people say about Ryan Garcia? What did people say about Tia Female? And both those guys going to get their shit busted and pushed in. They're going to lose because they're losers because they're always looking for some sort of bullshit advantage that's not about boxing. And so people, when you have that mentality, you will lose. Because that's a lot of energy to keep those lies alive. And this is where they are. And it's caught up with them so much.
No journalistic integrity. No journalistic
integrity. And the guys whose nuts they trying to uphold, to me, are likely both to lose their next fights. They hold Tyson Fury's nuts. He trying to find a way not to fight Deontay Wilder, clearly.
And all you did was give him more time. Bro, y'all so dumb.
Tia Female. Okay, what's going on? He can get slipped and get outboxed and outpointed by Kambosos if that ever fights, if that fight ever happens, and he'll definitely get destroyed by Gervonta, and he'll get outpointed by Devin Haney. So you know it's gonna happen. Ryan Garcia might not even be JoJo Diaz. So you know it's a bad. If you're gonna I get you can cap on Canelo because Canelo actually has skills. He actually fights 2 to 3 to 4 times a year. And so the lies people tell for Canelo are a little bit more viable because he actually puts in the work and he does things. But Canelo's day of reckoning will come too for fighting inferior competition because people will say, you know, I know what's going to say, did he hit a wall? What happened to Canelo? He's fought so many great, he's such a great competitor. He's fought so much competition.
That guy was a champion. Yeah. He fought that guy. And then all of a sudden,
and they'll do that. And he didn't fall off. He just fought inferior competition.
He went up
and
against
so then when he loses, which he will, He lose to Zerto and he lose to David Benavidez, in my opinion. And he could lose to Beterbiev. He was daring to be great. He took a chance.
And that's cool. All of these guys are daring to be great. All of them are.
And anytime anybody steps in the ring, they're taking a chance. Anytime you step in the ring, you can lose your life. So everybody takes a chance. You want to really want to play that game. But, that's the guy who I'll accept the cap from. Because at least I respect Canelo's skills. And I think Canelo actually will fight. Now, I think Canelo's calculated. But I don't think Canelo's actually scared. I just think he looks for advantages. But I think Ryan Garcia is scared. I think Teofimo Lopez, and I'm saying this, I think they're scared. And I think where they're scared. I don't even think it's about the losing. They're scared of being embarrassed and looking bad. Because they're such narcissists, they have such large egos, they care about how other people view them. And I think they don't want to fight, man. Devin Haney made Linares look like a fucking amateur until Linares clipped him.
Bro.
He looked amateur. I mean, he was just swinging in the air. Devin was doing the same combination over and over and over. And Linares kept getting hit with it and then kept trying to return with a left hook and missing, coming with a right cross and missing, Devin ducking, Devin slipping. It was happening round after round after round.
Stand in front of him.
Wasn't
anywhere
in front of him.
Wasn't nowhere else but in front of a guy.
And nobody's made Linares look that bad. Not even the great Lomachenko made Linares look that bad.
It was kind of on that level to me, but it didn't look that bad.
But it didn't look like Loma did it, but Loma had to get put on his ass to figure it out.
You know what? And the other thing that separates them two in their fights with Linares is the fact that Dev, like we said, he stood in front.
Yeah, Loma didn't stand in front.
Yeah, he had a whole lot of moves. Yeah.
Loma does his darting thing, and he can't do that against Dev. Dev is actually just as quick as he is, just as athletic. And I think Dev is the one who's going to be pivoting on Loma. See, the thing about the weakness in Lomachenko that I see is, it's a guy like Teofimo who's going to make him think twice about coming in. But then, hey, what if Loma gets some courage? Like, I think he'll have courage if they ever do a rematch. But the problem with that he'll have with a Devin Haney is Devin Haney will make him have to pivot. See, nobody thinks about that. Loma is always initiating the pivot and the change in direction. What about when somebody forces Loma to change directions? See, we've never seen that. And I think that's where Devin Haney gets his ass, because Devin Haney has the foot speed and the hand speed to do it. And Devin Haney can set him up for it because, number one, he's going to keep Loma at a distance for a minute with that jab. That jab is a problem because it's not just it's an up jab. It's a power jab. He hooks off the jab.
I have a feeling he'll go to Loma. He'll go to Loma.
He'll definitely go. He'll stand right in front of Loma and they'll pivot. See, Teofimo was good. He was pivoting after Loma pivoted, but he was quick with it. It was like a split second after. Devin Haney's going to pivot either ahead or with Lomachenko. See, that's a problem. Because the thing about Lomachenko is, see, he looked good against Nakatani because Nakatani had horrible feet and he was too slow. Lomachenko is in horrible position, much like Manny Pacquiao. When they move and change directions and they pivot, they are so not fundamentally sound, and they are so, literally, if you hit them, they'll appear to be off balance, but they're in such bad position, but they get away with it because they're so quick that the guys can't move with them to take advantage of it. Devin Haney will be there to take advantage of those pivots and nail Lomachenko as he does it and catches him in a bad position.
I can't
I think that's what people aren't. I can't wait for that fight. That's the fight I really want to see, that fight, because I want people to see what happens when Lomachenko has the same thing happen to him that he does to other people.
Or a guy like Tank who says that's cool too, but guess what? I can do that shit.
Tank number one, Tank is a southpaw, so Tank is going to destroy his angles first and foremost.
Yeah.
Number two, Tank can pivot with them. Number three, Loma gets away with that against the bigger guys. Notice he didn't do that to Rigo. He just walked Rigo down.
He moved. He was moving, bro. He was turning. Moved. He was pivoting.
He was turning, but he was pivoting more on an axis. He wasn't coming in like he wasn't doing what he was doing to Nakatani. Nakatani, he was getting in the pocket, spinning them all the way around.
Nakatani was a robot, my guy. You know that.
Yeah,
that
right. And so I just think against Tank, the problem with that is that Loma does it a lot. And we know what happened. You cannot do the same thing in front of Tank Davis a lot. He will figure it out. He'll time you, and then he will detonate something on you, and then he'll end you.
Man,
and
I saw him work. I saw Tank working out one time. A video. I'll say it that way. Not actually in the gym, but I saw him working out one time, and they had a guy trying to box him, and Tank wasn't trying to knock him out. He was showing how good his foot movement was. Yeah. And it was so crazy to see. I was like, damn, this boy can fucking move, man.
He's a lot quicker than people think.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
People think Tank is just like,
no, it ain't that.
He just hasn't had to do it.
Yeah. Tank does that because ain't nobody forced him to do nothing else.
Exactly.
But watching those clips of him actually training and cutting the ring off, being where guys are, being a step ahead before they get to the spot that they're trying to get to. It was a beautiful thing to sit there and watch. And I was sitting there looking like, man, this kid is going to be just a fucking problem for anybody that get in there. Until y'all force him to do something different, this is just what it's going to be. But he got the skills.
The only thing to stop Tank is you have to punish him. You got to punish him. You're not going to me, you're not, and this is why Dev needs to get more power. To me, you're not, it's a tall task to completely, I don't think anybody outclasses Tank in boxing. I think you can slightly outbox him, but I don't think and it's only a few people can do that, but I don't think you can outclass him heavily. If you're outboxing him or boxing at his level, you have to be able to hurt him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to discourage him from doing what he wants to do.
And I wouldn't say get more power. I would say you just have to get stronger because if you don't, he's just
that's the correct language. You definitely got to get strong. I mean, you either have the you
power, you got it. Yeah,
right, that's God given.
Man.
Look at Deontay Wilder. You got it. A wiry guy, but he just got it in that right hand, boy, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and can you imagine the way he generates that power coming from his feet all the way from them shoulders when he's slinging that fucking rifle out there, man? That shit is crazy the way he does that.
It's crazy the way he does it. He has his own mechanism, which is, a little different, but it's highly effective. And when it lands, it detonates.
That shit is, man, bomb.
Nobody takes that punch. Yeah, nobody's taking that punch and stayed on their feet. Nobody.
No. Everybody I've seen get hit, they went down, especially Flush.
Yeah. And that's my thing. It's not even he hits them and they're hurt. He hits them with it and they go down. That's the thing.
Like, my goodness.
I'm used to people delivering something and you daze them or you hurt them, but he hits them with it and they go down. And generally,
that boy
they don't get back up. Generally, they don't. Generally, they don't get up.
A lot of guys.
That's what's crazy about his power.
Man, when he hit Dominique Brazil, I was like, my God.
I mean, that meme where they show his soul leaving his body.
Yeah. But listen, Jake, anybody that's listening, go back and watch the fight. Go back and watch the Dominique Brazil fight. Right before it happens, you hear his people in the corner going, say goodnight. It's time to say goodnight. You can hear it very low, but because I'm a guy that knows sound, I doing music and shit. You can hear them in the background going, it's time to say goodnight. Here it comes. And then when he right before he goes, there it is. And he launches that fucking rifle, man, and tees off on fucking
he nailed him flush and he just crumbled,
bro.
Crumbled like tissue paper, not even like hard paper that you write on. It was like tissue paper.
Like they say, drop like a sack of potatoes.
Man, that was nasty.
That boy
that was one of the nastiest. Yeah.
Speaking of Deontay Wilder, I think a guy named Andre Ward is jealous of that kid's ability.
Jose?
Yeah, he's a Jose.
He's a Jose?
He's a Jose. No way, Jose.
Man.
Yes, you are. You're a Jose, man. Jealous one, still envy. And it's not to say that Deontay Wilder has the craziest skill set. It's the power that Deontay Wilder has. And let me say this, man. If you grew up in the South, because I know the majority of my family in the South are strong as shit.
Yes, they are. I got a bunch of them in Tennessee.
They are strong as shit. I have heard stories of my grandfather picking up logs and walking down the street to help build cabins and shit like that, or whatever it was he was doing. So people in the South are strong as shit. And because those are our ancestors who have lived there, and they come from that background of surviving and slavery and things of that nature. That
And
strength,
hard work.
yes,
Yeah.
is there.
Hard labor.
It is just there. That manual fucking labor, slave, like that is just, it just made the motherfucker strong. So there's nothing to really be mad about when you see it. You just got to honor it and salute a motherfucker like Deontay Wilder and George Foreman and guys like that who can just crunch your shit. It don't take much.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, my problem with Andre Ward is, he's out of order. And for him to not even check himself, when you got a great like Evander Holyfield, who fought in the division and is telling you, like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. He literally told Andre Ward he don't know what he's talking about. And it's just unnecessary, man. There's so many things to cover on the fight. And, he's totally being a company guy. I get it. He doesn't want to damage the asset. But then just don't say anything at all. Just shut the hell up, Andre Ward.
Bro, if you want to be, why even be a company man? You're a boxer.
You a black man. You a black man. And I love how Fred, big up to Fred from Barbershop Conversations. You supposed to be a human that's a Christian, right? You love white Jesus, but Tyson Fury always cursing. Tyson Fury talking about how he love prostitutes. Tyson Fury, PED user, cocaine addict, cheater, got caught by a sparring partner. Deontay Wilder went to the Olympics, been tested every fight. VADA, USADA, all of that. He never did anything wrong to anybody. And he's a black man, and he's from the South. And you want to rep a white dude from UK, and let's even leave his race out of it, but he's a known cheater.
He's
all
just
the
a
way
cheater.
around.
I don't.
A known cheater.
You're a fucking cheater.
And you want to sit up here and you want to talk about Deontay Wilder is defeated, or you don't like what he did because he had his headphones on. The fight sells itself, Andre Ward. You should keep your fucking mouth shut. He don't owe you anything when it comes to the media event. The whole purpose of the media event is to promote the fight. So what he's saying is, it's true. He said, I'm gonna let Tyson Fury do all the work. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna be real, real short and sweet about why I'm here. And I'm here for revenge. I'm here for a reckoning.
Yep.
And that's all I got to say.
That's it.
All the other bullshit, we're not gonna talk about it, because if we get into it, y'all not gonna do anything but cap and lie and defend Tyson Fury anyway. So why would I waste my time?
Even if you would have said some shit, I'm only here because it's part of my job. If you'd have done some shit like Marshawn Lynch would, you would still criticize him. You would still criticize him. Deontay Wilder ain't said nothing for a year or whatever, and then he slowly started talking. And that boy had more traction than anybody else out there.
But shame on Andre Ward. You got a guy who, and people act so surprised with the Anthony Joshua shit. All the people who, I'm disappointed, man. They can all kiss my ass. And I'm mad at every last one of them. And I'm not going to name no names. Some people on YouTube who happen to, have melanated skin. Oh, I was really looking forward to that fight. Nigga, a contract is a contract. Tyson Fury signed that contract. And that contract stipulated that there was going to be a rematch. So why do people want to give Tyson, slavery and the power of just conscientious stupidity and sincere ignorance is so pervasive, because what makes them think that Deontay Wilder shouldn't want that? Well, he got beat so bad. No, he didn't. His corner threw the towel in. He didn't quit. He didn't go out on his back. He didn't have to go. Mark Breland threw the towel in. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, he's a fighter. He's a warrior. Now, when Mexicans do it, you guys give him their flowers. Oh, he's a warrior. Look at him. He wants to be on the comeback. He wants to avenge his loss. Deontay Wilder does it. Oh, he's hating. He's getting in the way of AJ and Fury. And we didn't know he was going to win his arbitration. That's just some racist ass shit. And it's getting so bad that I think boxing damn near needs to be a protest. And that's why I'm going to unsubscribe from DAZN. And I will unsubscribe from ESPN too pretty soon, until they get their shit together. look, you can have opinions. I don't care if ESPN wants to promote top ranked fighters because they have a contract. I get the mutually aligned interest. I don't care if DAZN wants to promote Golden Boy and Matchroom fighters because they have a mutually aligned interest. But the number one rule you do in business, here's why they do bad business, is you don't do harm to your own industry. So to talk bad about an Errol Spence when you're lying, to talk bad about a Deontay Wilder when you're lying, you're going out of your way and you're only doing it to Black fighters. So to DAZN, to Walt Disney, ESPN, you are racist institutions as it relates to the industry of boxing. And that is not an opinion, that's a fact. There is empirical data.
See it. Yeah, we plainly see it. It's right in front of us.
And I think what needs to happen is, if I am the PBC fighters, I literally, because Al doesn't talk, and I hate on Al, but Al's gonna keep doing his business. That's business. But if I'm the fighters, I literally say, man, if you're a fan of mine, man, unsubscribe from ESPN and DAZN. And I would give them all the reasons why, and I would point out, and I would just hire, they got teams, they got marketing people. It'd be so easy to put together a clip of all the hypocrisies, all the double standards, all the racist comments, and I would put it to them. I really would. And I'll tell you this much. I know they love their Mexican fan base and the Latino fan base so much, but I tell you this much, if Black people unsubscribe from ESPN, they got a fucking problem. If Black people unsubscribe from DAZN, they got a fucking problem. And so, look, I don't care about the opinions. People got opinions about the NBA finals. I'm not mad if somebody thinks the Suns are gonna beat the Bucks or the Bucks are gonna beat the Suns. But what I don't want to hear people say is, oh, well, Giannis is trash. Giannis isn't trash. He can't shoot. He's not a good free throw shooter, but he's not trash. I don't want to hear people say, oh,
he's on a stage where you can't get to. Only 400 athletes can make it.
He ain't Kobe. He never said he was Kobe, but he's inspired by Kobe and he's doing his thing. So I just don't want to hear the lies. That's my thing. Stop with the lies. Stop with the misinformation.
Because y'all know good and damn well, if Manny Pacquiao wanted to fight Juan Manuel Marquez again, y'all would line up to see that shit.
Exactly. Or if Canelo wanted to fight Abney Yildirim again,
y'all would line up to see it.
They would line up to see it. So look, I don't want to waste all our time getting into the double standards, the lies, the racism. But at the end of the day, I think as Black fight fans, and even as Black people, DAZN has other content. They have other verticals. ESPN is owned by Walt Disney. They have other whole businesses that are underneath their banner. And I think if Black people said, you know what, we don't like how you're lying on Black fighters, or we don't like how you're misrepresenting the truth, and we can send you information on it, we're just not going to spend our money with you. I'm pretty sure Fox would love, and Showtime would love, oh, okay, well, that's more money you can spend with us.
Right.
And if they think boxing will survive, if you took all the Black fighters out, boxing would die. And so it's just like any other sport. If you took all the Black fighters out of the NFL, if you took them out of even Major League Baseball, and when I say Black, I even mean Afro-Latinos too. Even if you take them all out of the NBA, NFL, it would all die. And so it has to stop. It must stop.
That shit would go back to being bland as fuck.
It just wouldn't even be aired. There wouldn't be the revenue. There wouldn't be the interest, because we drive the culture. None of them do. We do. And they have to move their business to Mexico, which is fine. But I think the Mexican fight fans would not like that, because they know really good talent when they see it. A lot of Mexican fans love Gervonta Davis. A lot of Mexican fans love Errol Spence. I saw Danny Trejo. He was at the fight. He was like, man, I know everybody say respect Pacquiao. Pacquiao's a legend, but I got Errol Spence, and here's why. Oh, and I love Tank Davis. And he's not loving them because they're Black. He's loving them because he's a fight fan, and he's like, I'm looking at these guys. I see what they can do.
And Danny Trejo is a former fighter himself.
And a former fighter himself. And so this is not an indictment on the Mexican people. This is an indictment on the mainstream media trying to perpetrate a fraud on certain demographics, trying to exploit what they think is a perceived division. When at the end of the day, you have a product, and the number one rule in the business is to put the best product out there. And they're failing miserably to put the best product out there. And the means of division is a very poor disingenuous and unethical marketing scheme. And I think it needs to be exposed. And I think we need to boycott. I think we should literally boycott, because if we boycott it, I guarantee you it would change. I guarantee you it would change. I guarantee it, because money talks.
Absolutely.
Racism disappears really quickly
when that money
when the green goes away.
Yeah, man.
So Joe Tessitore, Chris Mannix, Todd Grisham, which y'all racist
trash.
ass,
Yeah,
with,
trash.
you know, Andre Ward, with you being Sambo, you know, all you niggas on this whole shit, they want to play the company line, but you're doing it unethically.
Andre Ward, you don't even need them.
Yeah,
you don't need them.
I could keep going. It's like, man, y'all can miss me with that, man, because if we not here and we don't spend our money and we don't subscribe, you don't get paid.
Yeah. Watch
what happens to your job. Guess whose job? Just look, if all Black people terminate their subscription to ESPN, who do you think will lose their job first?
Probably them guys.
They would definitely lose. We're going to keep Andre Ward, or we're going to keep Joe Tessitore. We're going to keep Joe Tessitore. He's actually a journalist. Andre Ward's just a former nigga fighter.
Ain't Joe Tessitore the same one who had to gravel to sob and beg back for a job at ESPN or something like that?
Yeah, he is. They all have a history. And so it needs to stop.
Dan Rayfield got fired for double dipping. He went in and had the DAZN pay for his tickets or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then went back and told the company for his expense report that he needed to be reimbursed for it.
Yeah, it's incestuous, it's unethical, it's racist, it's stupid, and it's bad business. And so
y'all don't care about the sport of boxing, man.
They don't care about the sport
of
boxing.
Y'all don't care about the sport of boxing.
And at the end of the day, the number one rule is, again, look at the other way around. You don't hear the PBC commentators, Terrence Crawford is trash. Man, Tyson Fury, and they be telling the truth. PBC would be telling the truth. PBC's not even saying, and I think they should do counter programming, but they have ethics. And let me tell you the difference between ethics with them. Man, and so back to Tyson Fury's cocaine problem. Oh, Tyson Fury can't even fight in his own country. Oh, Tyson Fury popped for PEDs. PBC and Fox and Showtime could easily do that and be telling the truth. And you couldn't even sue them for libel or defamation of character or anything, because it's all documented,
all true.
Known truth.
It's true.
But they don't even do it. Do you know why? Because of business. They want more people watching Wilder Fury.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so them over at ESPN and DAZN are the most unethical and dumbest business people I've ever seen in my life.
Even if it does come to a guy like Terrence Bud Crawford, sometimes they won't even mention him just because nobody wants to say nothing. You know what I mean?
Well, Terrence Crawford is the house nigga. So actually not the house nigga. He the field nigga that tricks. So for them, he's their main guy, but only in certain conditions.
Man, I hope y'all know what buck breaking is. I hope y'all know what that shit is, man.
When it was Terrence Crawford and Loma, look how they did Terrence Crawford. Now, when it's Terrence Crawford Earl, we like this nigga more than that nigga. This nigga at least gets us money, so we're gonna roll with this nigga here. That's what they do to Terrence Crawford, and he knows it. Now, does PBC do that? No, they don't. One thing I can say about them is, if at minimum, they just don't even talk about it. So I'd rather you not even say anything than do harm.
Yeah.
And especially stop lying. Bud Crawford has avoided every major competitor at 147 pounds. PBC could say that, but they don't. But it wouldn't be a lie, it's the truth.
And not even the fighters go out their way to not necessarily badmouth them. Like, a lot of people he's been called out to fight. But no one's really said like he's a horrible fighter or anything.
I like Terrence Crawford. I like Bud as a fighter. You know what? I think he's a good fighter. I'll beat him, but I like him. You know, what does Derrick James say? Crawford, he's a good fighter. See, here's how you know who the bitches and hoes are. Now you go ask Bud. Man, I want 50-50, man. Fuck it, I ain't gonna fight him. You listen to Bomac, I give a rat's ass about that fight. Errol Spence ain't shit. You listen to Robert Garcia. Oh, he's basic, but he beat your brother's ass. And all your fighters keep losing, like Jose Ramirez, like Tanahata. See, what you reap what you sow. And so this is the shit that's got to stop in boxing because these guys know better. Could you imagine watching the NBA Finals and the Suns are up 2-0, but all the announcers talked about was the Milwaukee fucking Bucks? Could you imagine that?
Motherfuckers
The
was like,
Tampa
man,
Bay
what y'all keep
Lightning,
talking about them, man?
yeah, the Tampa Bay Lightning just won a Stanley Cup, 4-1. Could you imagine if the commentators were like, "Oh, but yeah, Tampa Bay, yeah, but the Habs, the Canadiens, they're the team of destiny. Oh look, they beat this team in these finals over here, but they lost the Stanley Cup, 4-1, a gentleman's sweep." See, NFL, Tom Brady, they beat the Chiefs. Could you imagine if when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Chiefs, the NFL media was like, but that Patrick Mahomes, man,
he's the quarterback of the future.
He's the quarterback. Oh man, Patrick Mahomes woulda, shoulda, coulda, didda. Tom Brady, deflate gate. No, Tom Brady won, and they like that nigga the GOAT. And the Chiefs got their ass kicked. And yeah, they had two that starting tackles, were hurt, and the fucking Chiefs couldn't block nobody. And Patty Mahomes got their ass whooped. Good luck next year.
Yeah,
and that's
see
it.
You next year.
This is why boxing has no credibility, because all these whole ass people that work in boxing,
y'all fucking the game up,
bitch ass niggas. And I'm passionate about this because this is what's wrong. People say, well, man, they look at our politics. Sports is indicative of society. And the reason why sports is indicative of society is because sports is the one thing that brings everybody together. It's a common interest.
Facts.
Politics are clean water, clean air, taxes. All of those are common interests. This is what ties all of us together, no matter what religion, sex, sexual orientation, whatever you want to do it, we all under that shit. And so you wonder how all this capping can happen. But look at what sports is doing. Look at what sports is doing. Oh, the election was rigged. Really, nigga? Oh, Ryan Garcia should have JoJo Diaz. How can Ryan Garcia be talked about for a fight? That nigga left and ducked 3 people in a row in a matter of 30 days, and he's out of commission with anxiety. Why are you even talking about Ryan Garcia? Like, this is the shit I'm talking about. And so somebody who has a platform large enough, and I know the YouTubers be doing it, but we need somebody that's mainstream. We need a real sports journalist. We need somebody who has clout, who has standing in the sports world to write an op-ed, to go on one of these major platforms and call all these liars and all this whole ass shit out.
Because it's been going on forever, bro. This shit been going on.
And somebody needs to do it. Somebody needs to do it. I'm gonna tell you why it needs to be done. For the weak ass, the niggas who be on weak ass shit like Bud Crawford, they'll never change as long as the system stays the same. For the Mexican fight fans who just want to feel good about being Mexican and not really focus on, hey, let's root for the best fighters, it'll never change. For them getting their money stolen from them, from watching their favorite guys fight inferior competition when they could be paying the same amount and getting a much better product, it'll never change.
Man, to all the Mexican fans out there, man, when y'all ever known Juan Manuel Marquez, Eric Morales, Marco Antonio Barrera? When did y'all ever know them to stay out the way of good fights, great fights? They fought everybody that they were supposed to fight. They fought everybody that they put in front of them. When Barrera lost to Junior Jones twice,
yeah,
Eric Morales was like, "Give me that. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Give me that. If he that good, I'll take him." And he knocked his ass out. He stopped him.
Yeah, he did.
He stopped Junior Jones.
Yeah.
And I like Junior Jones. I love Junior Jones as a fighter.
Yeah.
Crazy ass way of throwing his jab out there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Wiry, long guy in the lower weight
Eric
classes.
Morales is a bad motherfucker.
But Eric Morales is just a bad motherfucker, man.
And you listen to him and you hear what he says about Canelo. And it's not Canelo hate, it's Canelo facts. But what pissed me off, and I'm gonna call him out, I was listening to the Boxing Voice, right? Nestor Gibbs, he got guys on there, he got people on there. I don't know about some of our coastal motherfuckers, bro. I don't get it. It's like, look, I get it. You can have an opinion. I know he did the interview with Chris Colbert. He was trying to defend Chris Colbert. It was just an opinion. And Ness, I'll say this, everybody can have an opinion, right? But it's the way in which you express that opinion that reveals who you are and what's going on with you. Like, I can sit up here and say, I think Errol Spence beat Bud Crawford. Well, why? I think Crawford had a problem with the jab, and I think Errol will eventually wear him down and get to his body. And I think Bud will eventually not be able to move. And I don't think Bud will land cleanly enough on Errol to stop Errol in his work rate. I think Errol will eventually just grind him down. I'm not saying, oh, because Bud, a weak ass nigga, he can't box, he can't fight, he ain't got no skills. No, that would be a lie. Bud has many skills. Now, he ain't fought no top-notch competition, but I'm not gonna cap and say he doesn't have amazing skills, because he does. One of the reasons why I'm so hard on him, if he was, and there's no disrespect, if he was Henry, where Hank Lundy is right now, I wouldn't be saying anything. Because I'm like, okay, you passed your prime, you at a certain level, you maxed out, no need to even go there. But we bring Bud up because the expectations are higher because of what we see. And so get back to the boxing voice, man. I'm listening to this whole thing. They're talking about Canelo and how impressive his wins are. And this one nigga came on there and had the nerve to talk about, they were talking about Caleb Plant. And he was probably a PBC hater. He's a motherfucker who probably just can't get the plug. So he upset at PBC. Maybe somebody at PBC, told him he wasn't shit. I don't know what his issue is. That's how I feel about a lot of these niggas. They feel some type of way about Al, or they feel some type of way about Mayweather. And then they, it's like a cancer. It just spreads. And I'm hearing a lot of that shit now with the whole Pac-Man, Manny Pacquiao thing. Look, Mayweather beat Manny Pacquiao. I don't care what y'all want to say. He beat him. He's greater. Has Manny had a longer career? Yes, he has. Yeah, if you gauge a great career, that's subjective. That you're saying he had a better career because who cares about the losses? That's a fucking lie. Losses do matter. It's not that we blaming you or we're giving up on you. I love Manny Pacquiao. He's one of my top all-time great fighters, but he lost and he's gotten slept. Floyd didn't lose and never got slept, never even got knocked down. So these are just facts. See, that's objective. You can have your subjective guys that you like. That's fine. It's when you try to pass your subjectivity off for objectivity, it becomes a problem. How's a guy who lost to a guy who's been knocked down several times, knocked out fucking cold, how is he going to be better than the guy that beat him that's never even been knocked down?
It's basically just going off your opinion. That's the fighter that you prefer.
Right. So that's subjective. But objectively speaking, it matters. I like Patty Mahomes better than Tom Brady. I do. But guess what? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the Super Bowl. So just because my subjective opinion is I like Patrick Mahomes better than Tom Brady, I'm still objective, and I realize that Tom Brady won the fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah, I can say that Pat Mahomes has a better skill set than Tom Brady. But at the end of the day, Tom Brady has 6 or 7 rings.
Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowl championships.
And he's been there how many times?
Head-to-head. 7. He's been there 10 times?
10.
And won 7. And he went head-to-head with Patty Mahomes, and he won. And it was a blowout. So my thing is, could you imagine if you and I were like, we see the score of the game. We saw what happened. But we're like, oh no, but Patty Mahomes still won. Could you imagine people would be looking at us like we need meds? See, that's how I look at these niggas. They need meds. Get out of your vagina and quit being so subjective and trying to pass it off as objectivity. You can like Manny Pacquiao. You can love Manny Pacquiao.
Absolutely.
But quit lying. Don't hate on Floyd to sell your subjectivity about Manny. Manny's great in his own right, but he ain't greater than Floyd Mayweather. So when Max Kellerman tries to say that bullshit, it's nonsense.
Because they're always trying to find something else to make it,
so if
make it seem like it worked.
if Phoenix beats Milwaukee, so Max Kellerman is on ESPN the First Take, and I would love for somebody to ask him this. If Phoenix beats Milwaukee in the finals this year and it's over and it happened, there's a winner, there's a loser. What if I went on the show and I said, well, Milwaukee's greater than Phoenix?
They're going to look at you and go, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro?
So that's how the fuck I'm looking at all these dumbass, weak ass, punk ass bitches talking about Pacquiao is greater than Floyd. No, he's not. He just isn't. He lost to him.
You lost. And then your excuse was that you had a shoulder problem.
There are no excuses, just like there's no excuses in the Super Bowl. Nobody cares that Patty Mahomes, two starting left, right tackle, and left tackle were out. Nobody cares that Kevin Durant came off injury and he lost Kyrie and had a hobble James Harden. Nobody cares that when Steph won, Kyrie and Kevin Love was out. Nobody cared that
you showed Kawhi up to fight.
That when Kawhi won, that Clay and KD was gone. They're winners and they're losers, and shit happens. That's what happens in sports. Injuries are a part of the game.
Exactly. You showed up.
And if you sign a contract and you take the field, then it is what it fucking is. And so to Nestor Gibbs at the Boxing Voice, to his road dogs over there and all these other punk ass.
Wait, what did Nestor say?
Man, look, I like Ness, but it's like, and you get the whole New York slang. He's been around for a long time. But look, man, like there's a difference between a subjectivity and objectivity. You can push your subjectivity all day long. I can kill it. You can say Pacquiao is my favorite fighter. You can even say, I think Pacquiao is better than Floyd. I'm not even tripping if you say that. But when you say, well, Floyd had his career, Pacquiao's had his career, Manny is ahead of Floyd. See, that's where you lose me. That's when you're not being objective. They've all said it. Max Kellerman, all of them. They always, and every time you talk about, well, Canelo's ducking at this, they always got to go, look at what Mayweather did. Dude.
And here's the thing with that. No matter what, y'all still bring his name up.
Yeah.
Y'all still bring his name up.
Yeah. And you know, well, Floyd did this and Floyd did that. And Floyd had his career. Floyd's fucking retired. You know, even I hear Justin Fortune, you know, and again, this is why I think Manny's going to get knocked the fuck out too. You're so busy trying to sell us a rank bill of goods, just something that is just a stench. Well, look at who Mayweather's fighting. He's fighting a fucking YouTuber with his accent. It's like, nigga, Floyd's retired. Like, Manny is still fighting. Floyd is retired. So
the only motherfucker you can know that can do a sparring match and make $100 million.
So
man,
Justin Fortune is talking about, well, they keep wanting to compare themselves to Floyd. Number one, you can't. Floyd has made more money. So again, it's prize fighting. So let's analyze the prize first. He's had more earnings. Shut the fuck up. And this is to all the people who want to talk. And I'm not a Floyd lover. I'm just a fact person. He has more earnings.
I'm not a big Floyd Mayweather Jr. fan. So just so people understand.
So I'm just saying, but the facts are, if you look at the top pay-per-views and you look at the earnings, he's made the most money. So that's prize. It's called prize fighting. Now let's look at the fighting. He's 50-0. He fought Manny Pacquiao. What was the result? Result was unanimous decision, right?
Yeah. You got outboxed.
Last time I checked, when somebody wins unanimous decision, that means they won the fight. Now let's look at that. That's passing. Let's look in the present. We talk about Justin Fortunes or other people who want to compare Manny to Floyd. Are we comparing Patty Mahomes to Andrew Luck? Andrew Luck is a retired quarterback who used to be the quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. So if Justin Fortune wants to say, well, look at what Floyd is doing and look at what Manny's still doing this. Well, I don't hear anybody on NFL Network talking about, well, look at what Patty Mahomes is doing and look at what Andrew Luck is doing. It's idiotic. You know why? Because Andrew Luck is retired. Andrew Luck can do whatever the fuck he wants to do.
Facts. If Floyd decides to go do that again in 3 or 4 months, that's his fucking business. And I'm going to give you a quote that he said that's facts. He said, I retired from boxing, not entertainment. There it is.
See, and this is why those guys will always lose. This is why Pacquiao gets slept. This is why if we have a real debate, you can't win on facts. You can push your opinions all you want to.
But when we put them facts on the table,
are not on your side.
When we put them facts on the table, that shit goes away.
That's the problem. And so I heard this nonsense about somebody trying to talk shit about, what Caleb planned and, Canelo, you want to hold his nuts. Oh, like he did something great. Canelo ain't done shit. Callum Smith ain't shit. Callum Smith ain't shit. Billy Joe Saunders ain't shit. He's a 2-weight division champion. Billy Joe Saunders is better than Caleb Plant. No, he's not. Who was he beat? Then he had the nerve to say Andy Lee. Some nigga that was on there with Ness had nerve to say Andy Lee. Now,
Andy
I give
Lee.
Ness.
Salute to Andy Lee because
Andy Lee.
He ran Crunk Gym. He ran Crunk Gym.
Yeah. And he ran Crunk Gym, but I give Ness credit. Ness completely destroyed him on the Andy Lee argument. I give Ness credit. See, this is what confuses me. You have a level of objectivity, but then people get in their feelings about certain things and certain people, and they can't be objective.
Andy Lee is
and that is the problem. I know, and they can't be objective. So one guy was trying to say, well, Andy Lee is a better win, but for I think it was Billy Joe Saunders, somebody than Uzcategui was for Caleb Plant. And no, he wasn't. Uzcategui, Andy Lee supposedly had power, got a few guys, but Uzcategui was a more feared opponent than Andy Lee was. It's so much cap. It's just so many lies, and it's the lack of objectivity. And it's ridiculous. And you hear Chris, same thing. Let's talk about Chris Colbert when Ness wanted to defend Chris Colbert. And I get it. He's interviewing him. He don't want to lose access to people. He feels he wants to defend a person. Look, Chris Colbert gave his opinion on the fight. Where he lost everybody was his lack of objectivity about Tyson Fury and about Manny Pacquiao. So let's start with Manny Pacquiao. Everybody says you can't count Manny out. You're right. But let's look at the records. Has Errol Spence ever been knocked down?
Not at all.
Has Errol Spence ever lost?
No, sir.
Has Manny Pacquiao lost?
7 times, I think.
Has Manny Pacquiao ever been knocked down?
He's been knocked down on quite a few times.
Now,
he's also been knocked out 3 times, I think.
Now, let's be objective. People talking all this shit. Manny Pacquiao's going to knock him out. When's the last knockout Manny Pacquiao had at 147 pounds?
He hasn't knocked out anyone at 147.
He's never knocked out anyone at 147. Matter of fact, when was Manny's last knockout?
I don't even
2009.
remember.
2009.
I don't remember.
So my point is stop the cap. Oh, well, Keith Thurman. Errol Spence ain't Keith Thurman.
Errol Spence ain't no motherfucker Keith Thurman.
So now let's look at the whole thing. So Errol, did you see the Josecito Lopez Keith Thurman fight?
Oh yeah.
You guys call yourselves boxing aficionados. You guys call yourself following boxing. Did you see the Riverside Rocky? I mean, he was knocked down by Thurman in that fight. And then Riverside Rocky was giving it to Thurman and hurt him to where? The body.
Not just to the body, but had him wobbly a couple times when he hit him with a couple shots.
And then, I get it here. And Ness comes with more cap on the boxing voice. Oh, well, Errol Spence don't want to fight Keith Thurman. It'd be Thurman. Crawford should fight Thurman. Nobody wants to fight Thurman. But he beat Porter. He beat this Ness. Tell the truth. Quit lying. See, that's capping. That is the political bullshit that we hate. Tell the truth. No, Keith Thurman ducked Errol Spence. Keith Thurman did not give Errol Spence an opportunity.
We don't even have to talk about that because he's like friends with Keith Thurman.
If you have a show now, and it's bigger, say, than our platform right now. We're nothing right now. We're coming up. But let's say, man, we love boxing. We want to get on your show, and you just say, fuck us. You're not going to give us an opportunity to come on your show. Let's say 3-5 years from now, our shit blows up and its weight is 10 times bigger than yours. And then but you still in boxing, you still got a voice, you still got your audience, and you want to come on our platform. Are you going to call us ducking you or being wrong to you for saying, no, fuck you? You can't come on our show.
I'm gonna say fuck you. Same way you
So
said
wouldn't you
fuck
expect,
me.
if you say fuck you to somebody, shouldn't you expect somebody to say fuck you back?
Absolutely.
See, it's simple. And so for Ness to cap that way and not tell the whole truth and to frame it in such a disingenuous, dishonest way, I don't have no respect from that. And that's
He's
coming from
friends with Keith
Chicago,
Thurman,
man.
bro. I'm trying to let you know.
I don't give a fuck who he friends with.
No, but I'm saying like he's gonna
yeah.
put Keith Thurman like,
and he can do that all he wants to, but Keith Thurman ain't shit. Keith Thurman ducked Errol Spence. Keith Thurman wants that fight now because Keith Thurman wants two things. He wants
payday.
money.
Yep.
He wants payday. You want payday. And number two, he ain't in the driver's seat. See, and so what Earl is saying is, how does it feel, nigga? How does it feel? Ness, you ever heard what goes around comes around? Ness, you ever heard of you reap what you sow? So why are you protecting Keith when he clearly didn't fight Earl? And then you guys don't want to talk about the conspiracy theory that he put out there. Oh, well, Floyd put Earl wasn't saying my name to Floyd, put him up to this and that. Quit. Y'all niggas give Floyd way too much credit.
Bro, they throw him into everything, dog.
Floyd wasn't thinking about how not to fight Keith Thurman. Floyd was trying to figure out, how do I get the next $100 million check? And Keith Thurman was not in those plans because you ain't getting no $100 million check with Keith Thurman. So that's why Keith Thurman wasn't on his mind. That's why his name is Floyd Money Mayweather. Do you follow? These niggas is stupid. They have these, they talk tough. Nigga, I'm from the South Side, 87th Street. Y'all niggas ain't shit. They not. And I'm sick of them acting like their opinion is a fact and then misrepresenting the truth. Quit taking sides. Point in case, I like Earl better than Bud. I just do. I like his energy better. Now personally, I'll be honest with you, I actually like Bud's style better. It's more enticing, it's intriguing, it's more risk involved.
Yeah, but that's what's gonna get your ass knocked out.
But I'm going to be objective.
That's what's gonna get your ass knocked out.
So if Bud fights a Porter and he whips up on a Porter, I'm gonna be objective and say, damn, Bud got Porter out of there. Shit, better than Earl did. I'm gonna have to rethink that fight.
Yeah, man.
Earl couldn't, even though he may have chose to fight that way, he couldn't keep him off and do the damage that Bud did. I had to be honest. You just got to be real. And this is just a real y'all, like, this is a realness check.
But until we get fights like that, until he does fight Sean Porter and Keith Thurman, we're looking at Errol Spence and we're going, he's fought Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, and these guys. That's the realest fact of it all. He's fought these guys.
Yeah. So start telling the truth if you're gonna tell it. Same thing with Devin Haney. Everybody always lying on Devin Haney. Whether it's DAZN with Javier Fortuna, fuck Javier Fortuna. Fortuna ducked that fight. Fortuna petitioned the WBC not to fight Devin Haney. So I'm hearing all this, Teofimo. Yeah, Teofimo is at the top of the division because he beat Lomachenko. I don't like Teofimo Lopez at all, the way he carries himself. I'm okay with this. I'm not a fan, but I think he can really box. I think he's like a terrific young fighter. But I think the way he goes about his stuff turns me off completely, and I think he's setting himself up for failure. But I can be honest and say, if I had to rank the number one lightweight, it's Teofimo Lopez. He got majority of the belts, and he beat the top guy in the division. I can be honest about it.
But when we say who has the best skill set, we definitely wouldn't say it would be him.
We definitely wouldn't say that. And, sometimes the guy with the best skill set don't necessarily win. And I get that. That's why you have to have the fights. But you don't have to lie on Devin Haney to make a Teofimo Lopez. See, the problem with the Ryan Garcia is the Teofimo Lopez, the DAZNs, the ESPNs. The problem with all of them and their acolytes and some of these YouTubers who talk about boxing with all their subjectivity is that you don't have to tear down and lie on someone else to build someone else up. Teofimo beat Lomachenko. That's all you need to say.
Yep. He beat the number one guy.
Period. The end. Now let's tell facts. Lomachenko was supposed to fight Devin Haney first. Why didn't he? Because Bob Arum got in the way of that. Because Bob Arum, I get more money if two top ranked fighters fight. So the WBC gave Lomachenko the franchise, and he gave up the right to the super belt of the WBC, which Devin Haney now has.
Created the franchise
right,
belt.
Created it, and it wasn't a belt, it was a designation. It's changed from a designation now to a belt. So let's have real conversations.
That only two fighters have.
Yeah, it's confusing enough as it is, but quit lying. Like, these niggas need to quit lying.
It's just like going after a girl, bro. You ain't got to tear me down just to make yourself look good around here. You sound like a sucker doing it.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we have opinions. Based on who fights who, we can say who is ranked. But we can't say who for sure is going to beat who until they actually fight. That's why we don't get the fights. Another reason why boxing doesn't get the fights is because there's so much lying going on. You know, they lie so much about Teofimo Lopez. It's easy to avoid Devin Haney when you say he's undisputed, he has all the belts, and he can beat Devin Haney. Well, shit, what the fuck why even fight then? So they're ruining
Suleiman. We got to throw him in there with that bullshit.
Well, yeah, all the heads, even Gilberto Mendoza with his dumb ass. With Manny Pacquiao just got denied
the WBA.
Just got denied the WBA. Now you put a champion in recess, Gilberto Mendoza. Let's look at the language. What does recess mean? I'm not going to go into definition. We know what it means. So how does a champion ever get out of recess, Gilberto Mendoza? Was a pandemic not enough of a reason for a senator of a whole other country to not fight? When the pandemic is raging in his country and he has responsibilities because he's a government official. Ugas hasn't even defended the belt that you awarded him. And Manny Pacquiao is fighting before Ugas. And Ugas might be on the undercard, but Manny Pacquiao dictates that. So how can Ugas still remain the champion when he didn't beat anybody to get the championship? And how does the champion in recess stay in recess? I guess he stays in recess forever.
I guess so.
Because now if he's going to fight, see, that makes no sense. Now, I don't understand the politics. There are obviously some politics involved. Somebody is obviously behind that. I have my subjective opinion as to what it's all about. I think it's their way of trying to force Errol Spence to stay at 147, if you ask me. Because he generates revenue. And I think they're like, okay. See, he has a dumb mindset. We can have our own unifications. So this is not a unification, it's just WBC IBF. But now if you want it'll be even bigger fight to come with with WBA. Now that's stupid because Ugas ain't Pacquiao. The draw ain't the same. So you get less money. So it's a bad business decision, number one. And in terms of definitions of the words, it makes no sense. So when something doesn't make good business sense and it doesn't make literal sense, then that means there's some other fishy shit going on. We just don't know.
Yeah. Whatever happens, man, after this fight, salute to Earl for being such a great fighter at 147 and carrying on and being a standard for boxing and doing things the right way. I don't hear, we heard about the accident, hanging out party and all that. We all make fucking mistakes. We all do, but salute to him for being one of the standards in the sport of boxing and being a solid dude. Salute to him and Darrell and
Manny Pacquiao too.
David Benavidez, Manny Pacquiao, Gilberto
Ramirez of recess.
Yeah, coming back to work, coming back to school or whatever recess. The fuck y'all talking about? So salute to those guys.
He don't give you a bullshit fight. He gives you the biggest money fight you can make in the division, and a unification.
Man,
and you the WBA,
and he is the A side, and you just go, all right. Arrow just went, all right, cool. You can have it. Like I got the fight. Like I know I'm gonna get paid already.
Yeah. At this point, what the WBA doesn't get is that the money and the prestige from fighting and beating Manny Pacquiao is greater than any belt the WBA can present.
Yeah.
And they are going to really, really, really regret this decision.
Yeah, you about to let a lot of money pass.
And I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm gonna tell you, it ain't got nothing to do with Errol Spence. It will eventually, but even sooner, Manny Pacquiao ain't gonna fuck with them. So you got a guy who's a senator, a living legend, a global icon, a guy who may be the president of a country, a guy who generates all type of revenue, who will definitely still be involved with the sport in his country, in that part of the world, and even coming over here, he's a huge megastar. And you're going to kneecap him and not give him the lineal rights that he has earned by defeating Keith one-time Thurman?
In a big
for
fight.
What?
In a big fight.
For what? It's not money, because you can't make no more money than this fight. So for what reason? Oh, because neither one of the fighters are Latino. Oh, that's you and your feelings. Oh, that's what it is, Gilberto Mendoza. Because neither one of them are Latino. See, Manny Pacquiao just got his nigga wake-up call, because Mexicans love Pacquiao when he fighting a nigga. But then when it comes to the ultimate prestige, nah, man, ain't no Mexican and no Latino in that. So, man, fuck Manny Pacquiao.
Right.
And that's essentially what the WBA just said. And I hope Manny Pacquiao never, ever mentions the WBA, never shows up in any of their events, and doesn't even recognize them.
That's one of the reasons why I do love Manny, man. When he know what's up, he just backs off instead. And Manny's made some bad decisions, saying some crazy shit too. But when he knows some shit is awry, he just backs up, man. He keeps on going. He said he'll just say something like, there's some things going on that I don't want to discuss, and he'll keep on moving.
Yeah.
He'll keep on moving.
And what the WBA doesn't get is that belt doesn't mean shit, because Pacquiao did not give up the belt, number one, and Ugas didn't beat him. So it's different. People say, what about, you saying that with Devin Haney? No, Lomachenko gave up the belt.
That's a fact.
No, he wasn't stripped. He wasn't in recess. He gave it up. So it's either fight or give it up. He didn't fight. He gave it up, period. That's different. Manny did not give the belt up, and Manny was not beat. So therefore, he is still the lineal champion. And technically speaking, he's the WBA, WBO, and WBA lineal champion, because we know he didn't lose to Jeff Horn, and that's the belt that Terrence Crawford got, because Bud was over there cherry picking and went to go fight bum ass Jeff Horn. So at the end of the day, real fight fans know what the deal is. And this is still for all the marbles, which is why it's making the most money. So fuck y'all. Fuck the WBA. That's how I feel about them. I think it's dumb, it's bad business, it's stupid. They missed their place in history, being the first sanctioning body in boxing, the first belt. It's really, really dumb and bad when you have an iconic superstar. Manny Pacquiao is bigger than Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez will never be bigger than Manny Pacquiao for a multitude of reasons. Manny's fought better competition. Manny has been a little warrior. Manny is involved even more so with his people. He's a senator, maybe a president. He's fought in more weight divisions. He's won more championships. He's fought more Hall of Famers. I can keep going. I mean, he fought a bunch of Mexicans. He's fought damn near more Mexicans than Canelo. So
he damn near Mexican himself. Shit.
So for the WBA to make that move is, again, man, it's a lot of ass backwards thinking that's going on in boxing. And one thing I like about what we do, man, we're gonna put the truth out there, no matter what happens. And people hear it.
You can't sit around and see it, and then like Deontay Wilder said, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, you can't sit around and do that knowing that this shit is going on, because it impacts us in everyday life. And to act like I don't see it, and to act like it doesn't bother me and it doesn't harm me, does me harm.
Yeah.
And for your basically saying that I don't believe in truth.
Yeah, and for Yordenis Ugas, I get it, man. It's like, he's excited to get the opportunity to be champion, but it's like, dog, you can't feel good about not earning something. You didn't earn that. And, let's be honest, you think you're really gonna keep that? You're not. And the bigger thing with Yordenis is you ain't gonna make no big money. You just screwed yourself from making even more money. Because now, if you really want to be honest, Earl and Manny could go, man, fuck that nigga. We don't want him on the undercard.
Yeah.
Why should he get some of our shine? If I'm Earl and Manny, Ugas Fuck the WBA. Why should you get representation on our shit?
Hell yeah. I was just telling
So
man.
if I'm them, I'm like, Al, he can't, we not doing this if he's on there.
And man, go grab Boots. Go grab Boots. See if we can get him to fight. Throw
Let's
Boots
get
on the
Boots
card.
and fight somebody. Let's see if, hell, we even do Thurman or Porter, or hell, we even go grab Danny Garcia. We'll go grab somebody else.
Go get Jamal James. Go get all of that.
But no, we don't want Ugas. And sorry, Ugas, the WBA did that to you. There's pros and cons, and there's consequences. And the consequence is that belt really don't belong to you, and you're not gonna eat off our card.
You ain't even had the belt yet, and you going through all this bullshit.
So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, man. That's all I can say. If you Ugas and you a real one, what you say is, man, yeah, the WBA fumbled. They fumbled the bag and they fumbled the ball. But here's the thing. So I can secure my bag, I guarantee me a shot at the winner. So pay me step aside right now. And if it's Earl Spence, and I get it, he does get to fight with Bud Crawford, he wants to move up. So if he moves up, then I get the first shot at the belts. Give me that. Or if he stays and he does get Bud, pay me some more step aside money so he can unify. And then I'll take the money and I'll wait and let those fights happen because I really didn't win the belt, but I'm still getting paid. And I want to be on those undercards. So he could have made more money by saying, not only do I got to fight on those cards and the pay-per-views, but you also got to pay me step aside money for, fumbling the situation. And so he could have got 2 checks. If I'm Ugas, I'd much rather do that. Yeah, man. Look, Manny should have the WBA. I ain't win that.
Oh yeah, I would have told him that too.
But I got the winner, and that's got to be in the contract. And if the winner either leaves the division or goes to unify or retire, so if they go to unify and fight somebody else, I want step aside money. If they move up or if they retire, then I got dibs on the belt. Whatever that next fight is for that vacant belt, I'm there, and I'm the A side. If I'm Ugas, I negotiate that. He could have got hella money out of that.
A lot of people ain't thinking like that, though, Jay. You know that.
How you not thinking like that? It's prize fighting.
Yeah, but they ain't thinking like that, man. A lot of them guys, they brains don't work that way, bro.
So yeah, you got the belt, bro. You ain't about to make no money.
Man,
who is he gonna fight?
I would have just turned it down.
Who is he gonna fight?
Yo, this is an epic fight. This could be a historic fight. Don't put me in that, man. Leave Manny as a champion. Let him fight for the belt. I didn't earn it. I'm not gonna sit here and just take a belt that ain't mine. Like he could have just done that shit, man. But
he could have.
As far as money wise, they not thinking the way you thinking about it. Like, yo, I could get some money out this thing. They're not thinking about like that. They're not thinking. And
like Manny is so generous. He could have went to Manny and said, "Let's leave the politics out of this. Manny, you were champion in recess. I didn't beat you. Here are my terms, bro. Give me some step aside money, make it worth my while because they fumbled the bag, right? This is a minor setback in my career. And promise me, if whoever wins between you and Spence, I get the fight. If you retire, then I get the first shot at the vacant belt. If you go somewhere else and if you unify with somebody else, I get step aside money for that, at least that one fight too. And that's the deal. And that's what I would have done if I was you guys. And Manny and Errol both would have said yes.
Because they know this is a business. They know that.
They would have easily said yes.
And respecting them for being about it like that.
So now Ugas has a belt that he didn't win, so the respect is not there. And trust me, what he doesn't realize is that's going to be the number one talking point whenever he does fight somebody. Like, he ain't win that belt. He ain't the real champion. That's the first thing they're going to say about him. He ain't the real. He got the belt, but he ain't the real champion. Pacquiao didn't give it up, and he didn't beat Pacquiao. So therefore, he's not the real champion. And Pacquiao wasn't stripped either. He was champion in recess. The difference. Pacquiao wasn't stripped. He was champion in recess.
So what was the whole point of making him champion in recess then?
Man,
it was a pandemic, right? Like we couldn't.
That's what I'm saying. Something else is afoot. Somebody else. Don't doubt if it's Bob Arum. I don't doubt if it's even DAZN. I don't doubt it.
I wouldn't even doubt if it was somebody else, but I ain't gonna say their name. So
true. I know who you're thinking too. Just to take the shine away. Because egos are still abound. I get that. That's possible if we're thinking about the same person. I could totally see them doing that
within the initials
within the organization.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you talking about within PBC or within WBA.
Yeah, PBC.
Oh yeah. Oh, I definitely yeah. We think of the same person there.
Yeah.
So I can see that. But man, your Denny is gonna be bad, man, because
and he's already a guy that people don't want to fight anyway.
He kind of is, but they're gonna take the strap off of him. That's the thing. He gonna lose that strap as quick as he gets it. Because if he on the undercard,
yeah. Oh, so he is on the undercard.
Well, here's my thing. Well, he's supposedly on the undercard. If I'm Manny and I'm Errol, there's no way I let him on the undercard now because WBA just fucked us. So no. So he has to make another fight. Go holler at Al about another fight.
And that shit would be so epic, though, man.
Ugas can't be a headliner. Number one, whoever he fights, it won't be a pay-per-view, number one. So there's no pay-per-view. It'll be a title fight, and it'll be on Fox, right? Or show. It'll be Fox. He's a Fox fighter. It'll be on Fox. But it's not pay-per-view. So he's making a lot less money. And who's he going to fight? Who else is he going to fight at welterweight where it's big money?
No one. He's just gonna get thrown. He's just gonna get thrown in front of somebody.
Yeah, Boots.
Yes.
Period.
There it is.
The end.
There it is.
And you could say, well, maybe it's Thurman. It could be. Yeah, he could get the name. PBC might do that, but it's not gonna generate a bunch of money. It could be Porter. Again, not gonna generate a bunch of money. And at the end of the day, they gonna have to. Whoever wins that fight gonna have to see Boots next. That's the problem. So whoever it is, they're gonna duck him anyway and vacate. Or move up or do something. They're gonna do something stupid to not fight him. So that's why the whole thing is stupid and doesn't make any sense.
Shit is crazy, man. Y'all do all this just to hold back something. I mean, we're talking about a historic fight.
Don't be shocked if Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya, again, Oscar De La Hoya, Latinos, don't be shocked if they're trying to buy that belt for Virgil Ortiz and hook up Virgil Ortiz with your Danny Ugas. Don't be shocked. Also, don't be shocked.
Yeah.
Also, don't be shocked I would think Bob Arum, but Bob Arum is cheap. And your Danny Ugas and Terrence Crawford ain't gonna make a lot of money.
He bleeds
money.
It's
not in-house. And he bleed money. So no, I don't think it's that. I think it's Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy and trying to build Virgil Ortiz. And they know, again, you got a Cuban fighter and a Mexican-American fighter, all Latino fight. So I think that's who's in the WBA's ear. I think they're saying, yeah, you may miss out on sanction and fees for this, but if he fights Virgil on DAZN, you'll get the same amount of money.
About Virgil Ortiz, or just about the fighter instead of the belts. Do you think that Virgil Ortiz could beat Conor Benn?
Do I think he could? Yes, it'd be a hell of a fight.
Yeah, I think it would be a smash.
Now they're not going to fight each other, but it will be a hell of a fight. It will be epic. Conor Benn is more explosive.
Yeah, definitely.
Virgil is more fundamentally sound than Conor Benn. Conor Benn is a better athlete. They both have they both have power. It would be an interesting fight. I mean, they both fight on DAZN, but they're both young and they're not going to be, they're not, they're trying to figure out how to get to the belts before Boots. That's what they're all colluding, and I just think they colluded with the WBA. They're trying to figure out how to get one of those belts away from the PBC. And they know Ugas wants a big payday. And they figure Ugas, you can bribe Ugas for cheaper than you can Keith Thurman or Sean Porter. That's my prediction. My prediction is he's going to have a reason. Once he's kicked off the undercard for the pay-per-view, my prediction is that he gets salty about it. And the WBA says, hey, don't worry about that. we got this fight over here with DAZN, and they're guaranteeing you, $3-4 million.
Mm.
Because see, once Virgil gets that belt, then they're gonna play keep away.
Yeah, we done seen that already. We done seen this episode already.
That's why they're willing to pay Ugas that amount of money, because they feel he has a better chance to beat Ugas than the other guys. And they also feel like we can play keep away. So that belt can mean something and carry more value for us over a longer period of time. And Ugas is willing to cash out and play the short game for $3 or $4 million. And I think that's what's going to happen. I know I heard rumors of Virgil and I forget somebody else, but it's not finalized. But watch. I think it's going to be a non-PBC situation with Ugas. Excuse me, that WBA, because it can't be the PBC. It can't be the PBC, because if it was PBC, the biggest fight in PBC is Pacquiao Spence. So why wouldn't you have a WBA there? So to me, somebody got to the WBA and somebody got to Ugas and them. They got to the WBA first, and the WBA is gonna tell Ugas what the play is. That's how it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Because they're like, look, bro, we
Gilberto Mendoza, he's Mexican.
Yes. I don't know. I would think he is, but I don't know for sure. I would think he is.
Yeah, I'm asking because I don't know at all.
I don't know, but I would think he is. I'm not. I'll look it up later. Either way it goes, he made a very, very costly mistake in my
head. That's stupid, man. Like, again, this is an epic fight. This is a big pay-per-view fight. Why would you halt or stand in the way of something like that?
Now, there's only one other PBC guy. There's one other person who could have blocked this, because it's WBA. There's only one other guy who could pull an inside straight against Pacquiao Spence, and that'd be one Tank Davis with Mayweather, with the power of Floyd Mayweather.
Very true.
How odd that Leonard Ellerby said Tank is going to fight a welterweight, and a big welterweight at that. How about Tank? Ugas comes off the undercard, but then Tank is going to fight in October, and he fights Ugas for the WBA super belt.
I wouldn't be surprised about that.
Welterweight fight. That's my inside straight prediction. My outside flush prediction is Oscar De La Hoya and Virgil Ortiz. But Mayweather and Tank carry way more weight and money than De La Hoya, Golden Boy, and Virgil Ortiz. And Ugas likes that because, hey, you beat Tank, you become an instant star, and I'm gonna make more money fighting Tank. And on top of that, the PBC, from a politics standpoint, I'm not going to be out bad with the PBC because I got the cover of Floyd Mayweather and Tank Davis.
And it'll be a fight. So, like, you get to fight because Tank ain't going nowhere.
Tank ain't going nowhere. So I could totally see that happening. And I could see Floyd saying, man, Earl don't care, man. Earl, hey, Pacquiao's a lineal champion. They could always use the lineal argument. And look, I know Earl moving up anyway because I know Bud ain't gonna fight him. So let's go ahead and make this move now and get Ugas and get a belt. Let's fight for a strap. Because remember, what do people do? People criticize him. Oh, the Barrios, that was the regular belt. And we know he ain't getting Josh Taylor because Josh Taylor's in a witness protection program with Bob Arum because Bob Arum wants to save Josh Taylor with Terrence Crawford. So to me, again, same sanctioning body.
So the Cottrell fight, that's not.
No, the Catterall fight, to my knowledge, is still going to happen. It doesn't make any damn sense to have the Catterall fight because what do you need? See, unless it's insurance, I think Taylor is trying to keep insurance, and so is Bob Arum. Bob Arum is trying to hold on to all those belts. And what Bob Arum is saying is, it's even better if it's a UK fighter that has those belts because he can just fight guys in the UK. And what you going to say? He can play keep away with all the belts in the UK.
Yeah.
As opposed to an American fighter. It's harder to avoid American competition if you're an American fighter. Josh Taylor can easily avoid competition and hold the belt. So what they're doing is it's a 2-for-1. Bob is playing an inside straight too. He Catterall, cool, whatever. He does the mandatory. So hey, hold on a second. I'm gonna keep all these belts and I'm gonna go fight Crawford. Now, if Crawford resign, If he loses to Crawford, hey, he's still the undisputed junior welterweight champion.
And go back down and get his
Go back down, he got all the belts. If he wins, now he's the undisputed. He's made history. He's undisputed junior welterweight, and he's the WBO welterweight champion. And then he has more leverage, right? Then Bob is like, oh, I got leverage. Well, is somebody gonna come for this WBO, pay us astronomical money? Or do I go back down and I can play keep away with these belts unless I got somebody else like a Teofimo Lopez I want to feed it to on this side? So it's all about musical chairs. That's what they're trying to do.
Do you realistically think that Josh Taylor can beat Bud Crawford?
It's a possibility, but I think it should be a 70-30 fight, but I'm gonna say it's a 60-40 fight because Bud don't fight any competition.
So I was thinking the same thing.
It should be a 70-30. It should be an 80-20 fight.
Josh Taylor has a lot of skill, man.
He does.
Josh Taylor has a lot of skill, and he ain't no pussy.
And he ain't no pussy. He got a little dog. Now I don't think he got more dog than Bud got. But he's no pussy. He's no pushover. He's slick. He takes away where Bud is best, which is at southpaw. That's where he does his most damage. He takes that advantage away because he's a southpaw.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a tricky fight for Bud. I could totally see Bud losing that fight.
I can see him getting outboxed.
I can see him. Here's the thing. I don't think Taylor can outbox him for a decision. I can see Taylor knocking him out.
Ooh.
If Taylor can hurt, let me tell you something.
And he does fight on the inside. I forgot about that.
He fights on the inside.
Shit.
He fights on the inside. Bud is willing to exchange.
Yes.
And if he had the power to knock down Jose Ramirez, he definitely has the power to knock down Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford is not really, he don't have the best chin. I'll give him average at punch resiliency because at least when he gets hurt, he maintains, he recovers. So I give him that credit. He's in phenomenal shape. He gets hurt on the easier side, but he recovers. I give him that. But I think Taylor, he knows Bud is a dog and Bud to get into a fight. And I think he's going to look to make it that. And I think he's going to look to catch him, probably with an uppercut.
Because he did go in there and make it rough. That's what he
did with Jose Ramirez. And he made the same to a pro grade. Yeah. So it's in Josh Taylor to do that. And Bud is a welcoming fighter to that. Bud is not just going to stick and move on the outside. I think that would be his downfall against Earl too. Eventually
he won't have no chance to do that because I'm not going to even speak on that, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's different. I think he loses the fight on the outside in that fight too, but I think eventually it does get on the inside. It gets doghouse, and I think he gets dogged when it goes doghouse. Not because I don't think he's not a dog. I just think Earl's physical strength is just going to be too much for him, and his body shots are just going to do too much to Bud. And Bud's body is very untested, and I think that's what Taylor. I think the Taylor fight shows us that you can greatly diminish Bud Crawford to the body, and then I think he catches him up top if he wins the fight. But I can easily see Bud pouring it on him and knocking him out. So it can go either way. Like I said, probably 60-40 fight Bud because he don't fight no comp, but it really should be a 70-30 fight. If Bud fought comp,
we could tell. We would definitely be able to tell. We'd be like, no, hell no, there's no way Josh Taylor.
And I won't be able to tell from fighting Jose Zepeda or a washed up Kell Brook or a washed up Amir Khan. I can't tell shit from that. So, that just is what it is, man.
Horrible.
Right. But I can tell where you at when you're fighting a Regis Prograis in his prime and when you're fighting a Jose Ramirez in his prime. I can give you credit.
Yeah,
I can give you credit for that.
Yeah.
So to me, Josh Taylor has fought better competition than Bud Crawford
in his division.
And be honest, his undisputed at 140 is more impressive than Bud's. That's can Julio Indongo beat Regis Prograis or Jose Ramirez?
He didn't beat Regis Prograis. Prograis knocked him out.
That's my point. So the guy that Bud beat, who was supposed to be the best competition at 140 that he unified to become undisputed, got knocked out by Regis Prograis. Jose Ramirez would have knocked out Julius Indongo by the second round if they would have fought. He would have crumbled him. So what I'm saying is Bud fought weak comp to get his 140 unified. Josh Taylor went through way better comp to get his unified at 140. It's just a better resume. It's just a fact. And so that's why you gotta It just is. And
I just thought
iron
about that.
sharpens iron.
He fought Prograde, he fought Ramirez. That was
And he
like
fought
back.
Ramirez.
That was back
Back
to
to
back.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Did
you
he
fought
fight?
a
Did he fight
southpaw.
Zepeda, or was that Ramirez that fought?
Jose Ramirez fought Zepeda.
Okay.
Yeah. Jose Ramirez fought Zepeda and defeated Zepeda. But yeah, so you can't take nothing away from Josh Taylor, man. Those are two rugged individuals, you know, who bring the fight and don't run away from the fight. And he beat both of them.
And stood in the pocket with Regis,
and stood, didn't do the typical tat-tat-tat run.
No.
Sat there and exchanged in close quarters right in front of them.
They fought.
So, yeah. So to me, he sees it. That's why he's saying, no, I can beat Bud Crawford. And I take him at his word. I think he can beat him. Now, will he? I don't know.
Yeah.
Bud does himself an extreme disservice by fighting such inferior competition. And eventually that's going to catch up with him.
Sad to see. Sad to hear.
Yeah.
We good here, man?
Yeah, man. I know we've been on here probably for about another 2-3 hours.
Yeah, because think that's it. This is Clean Breaks report card pickup. It's also a fuck you to all the racist, bias, no journalistic integrity having journalists in the game who support this bull, who put out, not support, who push this narrative that fighters are being ducked when it's just you guys that don't want to see your guys get their ass whipped. Stop protecting these fighters, because if it was a black guy doing that, you would be shitting all over him.
Exactly.
You'd be shitting all over. If Tank Davis fought fucking a bunch of guys that he could easily beat, y'all be tearing them apart. Y'all know y'all would. So stop.
Well, they do
stop
it already
all the
anyway.
cap. Yeah,
they do it already anyway.
Cap. Stop all the
Chris
cap.
Mannix, who is Tank fought? Tank's fought nobody. Really?
Well, put one of your best fighters in front of him then at 140, at 135.
Well, Chris Mannix, go tell Ryan Garcia, bitch ass, to go fight Tank and see what happened. Put your salary up on it. And let's see. I bet you don't put your salary on Ryan Garcia. That's why we know you're a liar.
You're a liar, bro.
It's ridiculous, man.
You, Dan Rayfield, Todd Grisham, all y'all with that bullshit. Cut it out, man. Like it's
and the YouTubers who are out here,
yeah,
that being an extension of old media. Stop it. Get out of your subjective feelings and learn how to be objective. Fighters have resumes, they have records, and there are stories to those fights. Who got knocked down, who got knocked out, who didn't.
Stop letting them people tell y'all what to think and think for yourself, man. Use critical thinking, because that shit is very important in life, period. But in boxing, when you're watching this shit, there's no way that the people they are saying Devin Haney is scared of or won't fight. There's no way it's true when that boy keeps coming out saying, I want to fight the best, and he doesn't get the best.
Yeah.
Then he fights Javier, then he fights Jorge Linares, and the only thing that y'all got is that he got rocked. That's it. That's all you got.
Javier Fortuna is the boogeyman, and we saw the way he fought against Jojo Diaz. So let me say something. Jorge Linares would knock Javier Fortuna out.
Yeah.
And so it's like, no, Jorge Linares is better competition than Javier Fortuna. Matter of fact, Jorge Linares is more accomplished than Javier Fortuna.
Absolutely.
So quit lying. And he's stopping. The last thing I'm gonna say is, and you're gonna laugh when I say this, to the great Roy Jones Jr., I got 2 words for you. Jose Zepeda. Bruh.
Come on.
That's my clean break. Jose Zepeda to Roy Jones Jr. That's competition, Roy.
Roy. Bruh. And I'm a big Roy Jones fan, man. But
I am, but not anymore because Roy is insulting our intelligence by saying who has Earl fought. And look, you can rep Bud. You can say, I think Bud gonna win. And here's a guy that I thought you would expect it from, who'd be the company man, but at least he's more honest. Tim Bradley says, hey, I think Bud Crawford gonna win the fight. But at least Tim Bradley says, but no, Earl's fought better competition. He's got a better resume.
And that's his guy, and I support that. That's your opinion. That's how you feel.
But he's separating it from here's what I think from here's what I know. What he knows is that Earl's fought better competition. He's got more belts.
Yes.
He's got the leverage.
And I salute him at times for standing up and stepping out and saying things that need to be said during a broadcast. But
it's too far and two in between.
Yeah. Well, you know, company men, Tessitore, Andre Ward, you know, Raphael, all of you guys with this bullshit, man. I see what y'all doing. I hear it, but I just don't believe it. And because I don't believe it, and because I know better because of facts over feelings, logic over emotions, because it's there, I can't go along with that shit, man. I can't put a green check mark next to that and go, you know what? I salute that, because I don't. The majority of the fighters that you all be supporting don't do no better. They do not do well against top competition.
They don't.
And we're waiting on them to do good. I would like to see y'all succeed. Shit, y'all would make the sport of boxing better if these fighters were as good as you say they are.
Bud Crawford is the most avoided fighter, but he's fighting Jose Zepeda instead of Sean Porter.
Come on, man. Listen at that. Listen at that. So how would Errol Spence be scared then when he fought Danny Garcia? Garcia has all have better records than Bud Crawford at 147. Hell, at 140, Danny Garcia has a better record.
He has a better resume. Yeah.
Cut the shit out, man. Stop it.
It's ridiculous, bro. But Bud Crawford to Roy Jones Jr. is the most avoided fighter, along with ESPN. He's the most avoided fighter. And Roy Jones, you know, who is Earl fought? Well, Roy Jones, he's about to fight Manny Pacquiao. See, this is why when people talk outside of their neck, it doesn't age well. Notice Roy hasn't said anything. So Roy, Earl's about to fight Manny. Who was he fought? Now, before that, you said Sean Porter. If he fights Sean Porter, he fought Sean Porter. Then after he fought Sean Porter, you still say, well, who was he fought? So I want somebody to ask Roy Jones Jr. this. Anybody on YouTube who got access to him, anybody down there in Florida, anybody who is connected to old media and got access to Roy, ask Roy who has Bud Crawford fought?
Manny Pacquiao's a fucking living legend, bro.
Let's take the records and the resumes of Earl's last. We can go 5 fights, 10 fights. We can go however back you want to. We can go the whole yard. Let's put them up against each other, and you will get laughed out of the conversation. It's not a debate. It will be a conversation, because debate means there's some back and forth. There's no back and forth on it.
Right.
So it's ridiculous. It's nonsensical. And Roy Jones knows better, and you need to get out of your personal animus and feelings you may have for Earl Spence. Maybe because he a lefty and you look at him, you see Tarver. Maybe that's it, because Tarver knocked your ass out. Maybe that's how you feeling. I don't know. But your bias needs to stop, and you need to be objective, Roy, because you are a Hall of Famer. You're one of the greats, and you're better than that. I don't care if Bud is your boy or not. He ain't fought nobody at 147. He barely fought anybody at 140. He barely fought anybody at 135. I'm actually not impressed. There is not one Hall of Famer. Not one. There's maybe 1 or 2 guys that had Hall of Fame potential, but there's not one Hall of Famer on his resume. Kell Brook, not a Hall of Famer. Amir Khan's not a Hall of Famer. Yuriorkis Gamboa's not going to be a Hall of Famer. He don't have one Hall of Famer on his record. I could take one guy off Errol Spence's resume and give you a Hall of Famer. I could just say Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia is going to be a Hall of Famer.
Sheesh.
So to Roy Jones Jr., the ESPN, where's Bud Crawford's Hall of Famer? Where is it?
He can't even get no fights, man. Listen, man, this has been another episode of Clean Breaks. Report card pickup. Salute to all the fighters. Sanisa Estrada.
Yes.
Super my man William Zepeda. Salute to you, bro. I'm gonna be checking you out soon. Gilberto Ramirez, aka Zorro. Sullivan Barrera and everybody else that was on the card. Like, I'm gonna have to go back and check some of you guys out. But Gilberto Ramirez, man, I really like the style, kid.
Me too. He's one of my top 5 favorite fighters now.
Yeah, current. Yeah. You're dope, man. I like what I see when I watch you, man. I'm gonna check out this William Zepeda, but salute to Javier Fortuna,
Yep.
Jojo Diaz, and everybody else. DAZN, I think you have lost customers, and I will get rid of ESPN, but Disney is part of that. So
Yeah,
bang,
I
bang.
understand. I
Yeah.
got the whole Disney package too,
Yeah.
man. But
Yeah.
maybe I just boycott by not giving them a view. I don't know, but maybe it needs to stop.
Yeah,
But
I
DAZN is
won't
worse.
watch.
DAZN is worse than ESPN. I will say that much. DAZN is the worst.
Yeah.
But no, but of course
Motherfuckers
it
got to
does.
do better, man. Eddie Hearn, if you're seeing that
Yeah.
shit, you got to do better, man. You
Yeah,
got to be.
Well, you got Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya. So you got two,
Which makes no sense because fucking Oscar De La Hoya, who did you duck, bro? Like you fought champions, you fought legends. Like what is this shit?
You fought your business partner, Bernard Hopkins.
Jesus. Your other business partner, or was Shane Mosley. Like you fought him. Yeah. Jesus Christ, man. What the fuck, bro? Yeah, look, we're about to, I'm about to get up out of here, man.
Yeah, we go, man.
I hope y'all enjoy y'all day or week or whatever it is that y'all doing right now. But we're gonna go ahead and peace up out of here. Joe,
no doubt.
Jay, I appreciate you, man.
No doubt. Likewise, as always.
Yes, sir. We out.
All right. Peace.